That's out of here!
Catch and fire. It's on the... Ah! He made it! Oh my...
Interested in animation since I was really young. Animated movies have always been my favorite.
Heard about it from my dad. He saw that they're having an animation camp. I told him that I want to go.
So my photography made me interested in working with cameras, and that's what I want to do.
It was a camp that had so much to offer, like everything I was interested in, it was being taught here and stuff.
The knowledge of animation, how it works, and getting better at it so I can pursue my future career.
And I've always just kind of been interested in this for so long, it was like I couldn't really pass it up. And I have learned those things, like professional things, things that I would not be able to do at home.
Some of my favorite experiences were just getting out and talking to people with similar interests, people who are passionate with the same thing that you're passionate with.
I can't talk, I have a showing.
Listen.
My clients are arriving any minute.
Eleanor. Mom passed.
I think it'd be best if you all go to hotels, for Dad's sake.
I didn't get to say goodbye.
You said goodbye when you never came home.
I'm Micah.
And I'm Smai.
And we filmed a short documentary in South Korea. The documentary was telling the stories of North Korean defectors who escaped into South Korea. We really just wanted to highlight how important unification is for the countries.
One of my favorite moments was when we were cooked a traditional North Korean meal by one of the defectors.
Another really cool moment was that we had missionaries from the Netherlands, from the United States, and from Korea all in the same place. I'm working on this documentary together, and there was just 3 different languages bouncing around all the time, and it was just so cool to be in that presence of so many languages.
One of the hardest challenges was the translation. Obviously, Mike and I both don't speak Korean. We didn't have enough time there to learn any Korean.
I think we're both really excited for the impact of this documentary. I think it's exactly kind of our wheelhouse and what we want to go into, because we're telling just really real and honest stories.
I mean, Jesus told stories to people all the time because it was hard for them to figure out a way to completely understand what he was talking about. It definitely reaches people in a different way than a lot of things can.
At nursing camp, we learned a lot and had a lot of fun at the same time.
I've always wanted to be a nurse since I was a kid because my mom and grandma were nurses.
So I felt really behind and scared to be majoring in nursing. The professors really make sure that you feel welcome and that you are really understanding what you're getting into if you do join. My favorite part, I think, was going to the research center. We got to practice CPR.
I thought I would come here and not know, talk to anybody. But first day, it was oh, I already had a whole group of friends.
I would describe nursing camp as super fun, but also super educational. They took the education process and made it fun. Everybody's gonna make you feel welcome, and you're really gonna have a good time.
Forester Camp is fellowship.
To me, Forester Camp is like engaging.
To me, Forester Camp was inspiring.
I hoped that I would be able to make more friends who have not really been around much.
How I describe this camp is pretty chill and like fun.
And it's fun too. It's something that like people can be engaged in and have a great time, but also still learn life lessons and lessons about the Bible, kind of see the world from a different perspective.
Fun every single day, and you meet a lot of new people. It's pretty judgment-free because everyone's all in the same boat.
You don't really have anything to lose by coming to the camp. I think a lot of people are scared to take that risk. I could promise you that you wouldn't be bored or not have a good time here.
Something only happens one time in the universe. It never happens exactly the same. So like, you better take your opportunity while you can.
Hello, my name is Z, and you'll never believe it. It's spelled Z. I first got into Beyblades in elementary school. It was super cool seeing these spinning tops with cool avatars battling each other. It was just so fun. The limitless possibilities with Beyblades could lead to limitless possibilities with videos. And eventually I settled on doing a live action YouTube series. The Beyblade Burst First Generation. Luminar. So I've just come to naturally accept that I'm just a big weirdo, and I don't see that as a fear. I see that as growth. You should not be afraid to be yourself. So the Beyblade Club is an unofficial club I started here at Huntington with some friends. The Beyblade Club's just us meeting together to play Beyblades and have some fun. And one last thing I have to say is, don't forget to prove it to them all. Prove without a doubt. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Cause it's the Beyblade Burst First Generation.
This is how we like to do it.
Three ball on the way for Melby. She's got it. Peyton Hartsoe picks it up, jump shot, and she gets it to go. Rebounded easily by Akers, and no one was there to stop her. Catches it between two defenders and still scores the basket. Goes left, goes in hard, fouled and one! Drops back for Nelson, and she's got a three in transition. Gets the board, throws it up and in.
BP convenience stores. And when you do, I expect you will experience hometown excellence in the cleanest and friendliest convenience stores in your community. Please also consider visiting JJ Java for the best cup of coffee in town, or JJ's Pit Stop for a quick, no appointment necessary professional oil change. Also, if you ever need a clean, efficient environment in which to do laundry, JJ's washroom is ready to serve you.
This is how we like to do it.
by number 4, Cassidy Crawford. Basket's good by Cassidy Crawford. Three-point bucket's good by Callie Gregory. It's good by Liv Lady. Basket's good by Liv Brady. Point bucket's good by Callie Gregory. Bucket's good by Callie Gregory. We've got a personal foul on number 15 for the Cougars, Julia Mantia. It'll put Kendall Yoakum at the line. Basket's good by Cassidy Crawford. Kendall Yoakum for three. Isabella Gizzi with the bucket. We've got a timeout on the floor.
State Bank is a cornerstone of the community. Our banking building blocks were assembled in 1911 and haven't differed much since then. We still stay true to our local roots, aiming to support, uplift, and celebrate the citizens and businesses of Huntington. As proud lenders to and patrons of our local businesses, we make our community an even more prosperous place. And when you support local banking, you play an important role in Huntington's success stories. No matter what financial products you may need, your business is an invaluable opportunity for us to strengthen our relationship with Huntington, which we're fortunate enough to call home. Bippa's State Bank is banking at its best. We believe in community banking. It'll be Forster basketball.
Sorry for a late start here. We had a couple of audio issues, but I think we're ready to roll. This game is off to a fast start as St. Francis up 17-9, and right now it's the same situation it's been all year long for HU. A couple of slow starts have put them in a tough hole.
Yeah, absolutely. They're turning the ball over a little more than they should. A couple of unforced turnovers where they're just dribbling out of bounds, falling over, or they tripped, like Annika was tripping when she went to drive. But it's also been the outstanding play of Callie Gregory so far for USF. She already has 9 points, as many as HU has.
3 triples. She is a 45% three-point shooter, and that's what this St. Francis team does well, as that's going to be a foul inside on Kendall Yoakum. Hopefully the rest of the way, no audio issues. We'll also put the score bug in here shortly, trying out some new things here today. For the Foresters, Yoakum's off to a nice start, though, despite that foul. 5 for her And with someone like Annika Nelson, who struggled recently offensively, she's got to get going.
Yeah, Kendall Yoakum is the player that they need to have a good offensive night when Annika isn't. Because Annika is a very dynamic player. She does a lot of different things. What a shifty move. My goodness.
Melby put Gizzy on her backside and scored the bucket off the glass. Gizzy's a great defender, but Melby so crafty with her handles and got to the rim easily for her first 2.
She's a great defender, just like her brother who plays for HU.
That's a travel inside, as that's on Cassidy Crawford. That's the second time she's taken too many steps, and Coach Jeremy Henney, it looks like he is going to take her out of the game as Taylor Fordyce will check in. The St. Francis team, they've been excellent all year. They're 19-2. They're only 2 losses within the Crossroads League. They're a really good team, number 14 in the country right now.
Yeah, they have a great coaching staff. They've got a great all-around team. Like you said, one of the things they do really well is shoot the ball. They have a lot of really good shooters, defenders like Gizzy. They're an overall just outstanding team, and there's a reason they're number 14 in the Crossroads League.
Right now it's the Kendall Yoakum show. She's got 8 of the 14. This is exactly what Coach Darby Magger needed from her sophomore sharpshooter. Just having an excellent afternoon to start this one. St. Francis and Huntington separated by only 25, 30 miles. Nice pass inside as Mantilla puts it up and in off glass. That's her first bucket. Back to a 5-point lead.
How about that seal-off that they had right there? I mean, that was a perfect play. Got the inside positioning, perfect pass.
Huntington's on fire from deep. It's usually Bailey Kellum wearing number 1, but in the pink jerseys today, in the pink out, it's number 22, but the same result for the sophomore there.
I don't think it matters what jersey number she is. She's still going to put up threes.
Tough shot and in by Gregory. This freshman probably already has solidified herself as freshman of the year in the conference. She's showing why. 11 points in this first quarter.
Well, and usually when you look at teams, you look to your seniors and juniors, you know, the people like veterans who can get you buckets on a almost every play. But for them, that's a freshman, which is absolutely impressive on her part. I mean, she, like you said, 45% from three-point range. I mean, she just does not miss many threes, and it shows with their record.
Raby took a few too many steps there, as you see on this replay. A couple of Cougars surrounding her. HU, that was their main issue in that last game. They turned it over 20 times against Bethel, and that really, at the end of the day, is what cost them that game at Mishawaka.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, you look at the box score at the end of the game, it was 56-60. They only lost by 4 points, and that's with 20 turnovers. They have 17 turnovers. You know, take away 3 of those, they probably could have won the game. So, like you said, turnovers has been kind of the Achilles heel of this Forester squad. We'll see if they can tone them down a little bit here, but so far they already have a couple.
Kellum has 1 triple to start this one. That time she threw it directly out of bounds, and right on cue, another turnover. That's 5 in the first quarter.
Yeah, they really gotta get that down to about 1 or 2 turnovers per quarter, because you get 8 turnovers, 10 turnovers, that's manageable in a game, but once you get to that 10 plus, you get to 15 range, that's when the game can really get away from you.
You think about that game against Bethel, you turn it over 20 times. That's potentially 40 points that you're leaving out there without even getting a shot off. So that is what just kills you, as that was tipped by Yoakum in the corner under 1 minute here. We're sorry about the score bug right now. We are working on that in the back currently. Jonathan Peters, who's our broadcast engineer here today, really worked hard to just get our audio up and going, so we hope you can hear us all right wherever you may be watching today. These two teams, St. Francis bringing a nice crowd here in this women's game, and I'm assuming they'll bring even more for the men's game after this one as well. This is a really good rivalry because these teams are so close, and they're both in the up and up right now in the Crossroads League as well.
Well, I mean, and you look at both St. Francis, both the men's and women's team are both nationally ranked. I mean, obviously right now the men's team doesn't quite have that, as McKnight, one of their best players, hits a nice 3 there, but they're receiving votes and they'll make the national tournament. They have 2 really solid teams.
Melby trying to match, too strong, falls in the hand of Lib Raby. Kellum has to reset. They're playing really good defense on Bailey here, making her just a shooter. Melby fouled up top. That's going to be called on Gizzy. That'll be her first. Not many fouls here. It's been a fast-paced first quarter. That's just the 3rd overall, and it's the 2nd on St. Francis. As Huntington will have the ball right in front of the St. Francis bench. There's our score bug.
Well, the games where the referees allow them to play are always the most fun to watch.
Melby with a good catch. Huntington can hold for the last shot here. Melby inside Raby. Shank catches, gets it off in time, missed it, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. We will come right back for the second. Huntington has some work to do before the half. 8-point deficit. Hold for the last. Platt Arena, a fast, furious start for the Cougars. They've done that all year long. They've been so good at getting off these fast starts, and Huntington, kind of on the other side, has gotten off to some of these slow starts, but both teams shot it really well in that first quarter. If you take a look at St. Francis, 10 of 15 from the field, 67%. They matched that number as well percentage-wise, 4 of 6 behind the arc. Huntington, they shot 55%, 3 of 7 from deep, just turned it over 2 more times. You look at the score, and you're happy to be right in this game, but man, St. Francis unconscious in that first quarter.
And they're doing it through their inside-out play. They're passing it to their center and forcing the defense to collapse and kicking it out to wide-open three-point shooters like Callie Gregory, who's making all of them.
Saw an example of that right there, except this time it's McKnight who knocks in her second 3. And man, if you're giving these guards open looks, they're going in right now. Addie Shank working with her senior guard, Gabi Melby. Shank and Raby out there together, so 2 bigs. We've been seeing this more often recently from the Foresters. Sheets drives in, kicks it. Melby had an open look, and 3 seconds is going to be called on Shank inside. It's another HU turnover.
Addie Shank getting some early minutes. Usually she doesn't come into a little bit later in the second quarter, but she's been playing really well for them off the bench, so it's good to see her out there.
Callie Gregory, the freshman, had such a good start. She goes right back to work. That one was too strong, but fought for, and Gregory got her right back. Inside, Stoddard, double team, jump ball, and that will go to HU. Nice job by Raby coming over there defensively.
Well, and you saw the double team from Kendall Yoakum there, jumped perfectly to prevent the pass, and Raby was able to get her hands on the ball. That was solid defensive play from the Foresters.
9 minutes left in this first half. St. Francis continues to make nearly every shot they look at. They're getting a lot of easy looks from downtown here in this first half. Foul inside. That's going to be called on Abby Stoddard. Her and Raby got tangled up. First here in the second quarter on the Cougars. And as mentioned, there weren't many whistles at all. You can see Stoddard maybe just pulling on that left arm of Raby a little bit.
I mean, that's what happens when you're fighting for position inside. Your arms get tangled up, legs get tangled up, and right there, just a little bit too physical, and Raby sells the contact.
Melby steps back behind the three-point line. Yoakum, who had that hot start from deep, bounces it inside. Huntington's got to get a shot up. Shank, too strong, pulled down by a couple of Cougars.
You like that shot from Shank. I mean, that's a shot that she'll usually hit. So, I mean, that's the right shot you want in that possession, just couldn't make it.
Gregory gets to her spot, shot a little push shot, couldn't get it to go, and Melby's leading the pack the other way. Gobby, nice pass inside, but Raby just couldn't meet it. It's another HU turnover, and right now they're starting to pile up again. And if you want to beat a top 15 team, you have to take care of the ball, and that's not been the case early.
Yeah, they're struggling to keep possession. I mean, this is a really good defensive team. I mean, they've got a lot of great defenders on this St. Francis team that you're not going to get easy looks. You're going to have to fight for every single bucket that you get. And right now, the Foresters aren't showing enough fight on the offensive end.
Inside, early catch by Crawford between two defenders, still gets it to drop, and she's up to 6 now, and it's back to a 12-point lead. She's actually got 8. Did a lot of that work right in that deep post early in the first quarter as well. Yoakum rarely goes off the dribble, bounces it into Shank. Nice footwork with the left hand. It did everything but go in, and the Cougars dodge a bullet.
And that was a really nice move from Shank there. The little Euro step just puts it a little too strong.
Fordyce, she's back in there. Fort Wayne native, went to Carroll High School. She scored 1,100 points. They've got players all over that were so good in high school. One of them right there with Crawford as she drops in another. She had, in high school, a tremendous career, but here at St. Francis, she's over 1,100 points, 500 rebounds, and 250 assists. She's been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, she has been everything that they've looked for in one of their centers and slash power forwards on this squad. She rebounds the ball, she scores inside, and right now the Forster defense has no answer for her when she gets inside.
Melby, tough shot over the top. I tell you what, you can see a lot of Max Gizzy in Isabella Gizzy. She's up in the guard, she's not letting them move, she's good side to side, but Melby is such a good playmaker and makes a tough shot over the top of her.
Well, and that's a lot of experience from Melby. She's one of the most experienced players on this Forester squad. She knows what it takes when you need to score. She has all the moves. She has a lot of, basketball fans say, a deep bag, as you will.
Yeah.
Has a lot of counter moves for defenses, and she shows off her prowess.
Talk about Isabella a little more. She's got a tall task in guarding Melby. She's just a sophomore. At New Palestine, she's got the school record for career points, single season points, career steals, and career free throws. So she was one of the best players in the state of Indiana. St. Francis went down south, got her up north, and they've got to be pretty happy with her first 2 seasons as a college basketball player.
And, I mean, like you said, she does resemble a lot of what Max Gizzy does. She plays almost every minute of the game. She's a good defender. She can shoot the ball when she needs. She can play make. And she's just an overall great player, and she's an absolute steal for this St. Francis squad.
Kellum drives, and a foul is called as Mantala went with the 2-hand shove on Raby at the top of the key. She thought Raby may have flopped. It looks like it's actually on Callie Gregory. I think he probably could have played on with that one.
Yeah, a little bit of selling. I mean, you saw a little bit of extension of the arm from Gregory there to push her, but not nearly enough contact in my opinion.
Raby skips it to Nelson. She's scoreless here in the first half. Takes a tough shot. It was blocked by Crawford. Gregory, full ahead. Can't get it to drop. And a foul called inside now on Crawford as she went over the back of Raby.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something you can't do as a offensive player. Just go over the back of the player trying to box you out. I mean, if they have good positioning, all you can do is just try to jump higher than them. You can't go over them like she did there.
We haven't talked much about it, but obviously Huntington in their pink uniforms today, standing up to breast cancer, cancer in general. They do this once a year. It's a really cool tradition for them as Nelson spins and gets it to go in high off the glass.
And that's a really good sight for the Foresters. Like you said, she's been struggling offensively as of late, but right there, a nice little post hook shot over the defender. That's a really nice shot from Monica Nelson.
Senior guard in the freshman here, backdoor cut as Gizzy gets it back. Quick post inside, nice spin to the right. Couldn't get it to drop as Mantle had a good look. Melby will slow it down. Huntington would feel like they're on top of the world if they keep this within 10 at the halftime break. Raby flips it underhanded, couldn't get it to drop, and now St. Francis pushes back the other way. Coast to coast, up and in again. Crawford is having her way inside that painted area.
Yeah, and they're just not showing enough fight. I mean, Raby has gone routinely punished when she's inside defending, and they're just not showing enough fight in there.
Melby keeps it going, though, with a little 15-footer. Huntington wants to stay in this game. They got to get stops, but Melby's got to look to score today as well, and she has early.
Well, especially when St. Francis is doing such a good job of denying the ball from Kellum. I mean, Kellum is one of the Foresters' best scorers, and if she's not going to get the ball and not be able to get off shots, it's going to have to go down to Melby and see if she can get some buckets.
Fordyce missed that three. Nelson coming off that two-pointer, skips it out Kellum. Huntington trying to work with Raby, but I'm telling you, St. Francis doing such a good job as Melby fires another one and hits. It might be one of those days for Gabi.
Well, and you can see right there, that is the hole in the St. Francis defense, that mid-range area. She has been able to get to that every single play and make an easy floater or an easy mid-range. St. Francis has not been able to guard that so far. So we're going to see if she continues to attack that.
That'll take us to our next media timeout. 3:36 left in the first half. Huntington crawling back a little bit, down 8 when we come back on FDN Sports.
I can't talk, I have a showing.
Listen.
My clients are arriving any minute.
Eleanor. Mom passed.
I think it'd be best if you all go to hotels, for Dad's sake.
I didn't get to say goodbye.
You said goodbye when you never came home.
Back here in Platt Arena, just 3:36 left in our first half, and it's been a great game. Huntington's honestly not played poorly, Ryan. It's just that St. Francis came out here on fire, knocked in a ton of shots early in that first half.
Well, and you got to credit their offense as well as their defense. The biggest problem for the Foresters that so far has been their interior defense. The Cougars are getting everything they want inside. I mean, you have Crawford who's inside, just using her pivot. I mean, she's got great footwork, so I mean, there's nothing against Raby. I mean, this is one of the best centers in the Crossroads League, but she's using her footwork to just maneuver around her, and right now they just simply aren't doing enough inside. They need to crash more, they need to double team more, trap their players. And right now, every time they try to do that, it just ends up in an open three.
You take a look at what Huntington has done offensively. Melby has 8, Yoakum has 8, the rest of the team just 9 combined. So someone else has to get going. Kellum has been guarded well in her sophomore year. A lot of teams know what she wants to do now, so it gets a lot tougher from here on out. Catch and score with the left hand from Gregory. She's up to 13. Freshman now has 17 games in her first collegiate year of 10 plus, just keeps it going.
Yeah, and she is such a dynamic player.
Kellum right on cue.
And that is also a very dynamic player. That is the look that you want. You set that flare screen, she comes around it and gets a wide open look on the catch and shoot. That is Bailey Kellum's game. If they can continue to get to that, they can get right back in this game.
She's got 152 made threes in her career. She's well on her way to breaking the all-time record as that one falls to Gizzy. See, she had an open look, goes to her strong left, couldn't score the 2, loose ball down to Bailey Kellum. Huntington trying to cut into this lead before the halftime break. Melby, free throw line extended. Looks in the corner, big shot for Nelson, is strong, didn't follow her shot. Samaya Stout, the freshman in the game, rips it away. Nelson, loose ball. Crazy playing back and forth here. Bodies everywhere.
I love the physical aspect of the game and how the refs aren't necessarily going to their whistle every single time. They're allowing them to play a little bit.
Melby staying strong. Stout has it again. Elkhart native dives into the lane, gets it to go. Only averaging 2.5 points per game. There's her first 2 today.
And you can see right there, they see a matchup that they like, which is Kendra Sheets in the paint. I mean, Kendra is a little bit shorter in there, so, I mean, that's great playing from St. Francis to get the nice looks.
Skip pass to Sheets. She'll fire right in front of the Cougars bench. Little short. And now St. Francis a chance to get this one back to a double-digit lead. Wide open, their best player, Gregory. Short on that one. Nelson able to yank it away. Melby, coast to coast, gets to the rim. Contact there, couldn't get it to drop. Stout, freshman, pulls down another rebound. McKnight in transition, that's too strong. Paces back and forth, loose ball, and a foul gonna be called on Gregory.
An interesting foul there. It just looked like she was diving for the loose ball. I don't know if I agree with that. You can see right there. I mean, maybe a little bit of push there when on the initial takedown on Kendra Sheets, but I mean, that just looked like a basketball play.
I completely agree, but the Foresters are going to benefit from it because it's the 5th foul, so it puts St. Francis over the limit. And now Sheets, the freshman, has a chance to shoot some free throws. Sheets' playing time's been up and down, but in conference play, she is playing 21 minutes per contest. As the freshman from Columbia City knocks in the first, 86% from the free throw line. It's been really solid.
And I mean, you want to talk about a huge pickup for the Foresters. Kendra Sheets as the backup point guard. She's just so dynamic overall.
So Sheets makes the first, has the second. There's kind of confusion going on here.
Refs not all on the same page.
Well,
right
St.
now.
Francis had several players at the bench and wanted to get their players in. I don't know why they weren't allowed to go in right after the first. There was some delay, but they did just let them go in now, so I'm not sure what was going on there. Second one missed by Sheets. Fordyce grabs the board. Still an 8-point lead. Just one foul on HU in this second quarter. Inside work, open three, McKnight from the corner, short again, Raby catches it. Couple big possessions here for HU down the stretch in this first half.
Yeah, if they can get this lead down to 6 or 5, they'll feel much more comfortable going into that second half and possibly win this game.
Nelson lobs it to Raby. She's got the size, she's got the bucket, and she's got a free throw coming.
And you want to talk about a player who has had some really good games recently, especially in their last one against Bethel. Olivia Raby, she does all her work inside. She's got a lot of good footwork right there. Got the smaller matchup with McKnight, I believe it was, and just able to take full advantage of it, scores with the and one, and that's something she can do a lot of in the paint, and the Forcers are looking to her to do that.
Raby a chance to make this just a 5-point game. Liv can't do that. Nelson fights for it, puts it up and in. That's even better than an and one.
That's a 4-point play is what that is. I mean, that is a huge play from Annika, as now it's only a 4-point game.
Forcers right back in this game. Need a stop and potentially a score before they take a break. Crawford, it's been a handful all night. Gets in, 2 tough shots in a row for St. Francis. Huntington can take the momentum with them and probably should hold for the last shot.
And we know what Melby can do with these last shots. As we've seen a couple of times, she gets the bucket to go at the buzzer. We'll see if Forsters can cut in this lead a little bit more before half.
Kellum will fire from the wing, too strong. Nelson tipped away. Stout not going to put it up in time, and Huntington will be down 4, and we'll have Darby Maggard joining us here as we've kind of switched up the headset here just a bit. Coach Darby Maggard has got to be a little happy with that performance there at the end. It was a slow start, but man, you guys battled hard to get back into this game right before the break.
Right down our throat, and we adjusted. I thought our 2-3 was pretty good. It stopped them a little bit, and then they got into a rhythm. But I'm really proud of the effort that my kids are playing with. And we're moving the ball a lot better on the offensive side today than we've seen in a couple games, and so we're getting some good looks.
Feels like a game today that Gabi Melby's probably going to have to score in. What do you think of your senior guard there to start the first half?
She's doing a great job. She's pushing tempo when she sees an open floor. And then she's doing a really good job of slowing our pace and making sure we're executing in the half court as well. And so she does a great job both of it's a hard job she's got to figure out when to score and when to, find her open shooters and also lead the team. And so she's doing a really good job. I'm proud of her.
Yep, grab the momentum there before the halftime break. We hope to see you with a win afterwards.
Thank you.
Coach Darby Maggard joining us for the halftime break. Down 4 are the Foresters. We're going to go ahead and take a break with them. Come back, and we'll get you set for the second half between the Cougars and the Foresters on FDN Sports.
Fun at the same time.
I've always wanted to be a nurse since I was a kid because my mom and grandma were nurses.
So I felt really behind and scared to be majoring in nursing. The professors really make sure that you feel welcome and that you are really understanding what you're getting into if you do join. My favorite part, I think, was going to like the research center. We got to practice like CPR.
I thought I would come here and not know, talk to anybody. But first day, it was like, oh, I already had a whole group of friends.
I would describe nursing camp as super fun, but also super educational. Like they took the education process and made it fun.
Everybody's gonna make you feel welcome, and you're really gonna have a good time.
Hello, I'm John Thomas, and I am a game master for D&D. I got into D&D from some mutual friends my sophomore year of college, and we played a super janky, completely messed up game, and it was a blast. From that moment on, I fell in love. For a while though, I didn't have anybody to play with, so I was like, what do I do? I looked online, I started listening to podcasts. As fun as listening to those podcasts were, I really wanted to play, but I had nobody to play with. I thought to myself, why don't I just see if anybody I know would want to play? And that's when I asked these guys back here if they wanted to play D&D with me and let me be their game master, and now we've been playing for almost a year and a half. As much as it is about playing the game and having fun playing the game, more than anything, it's about getting together and maintaining that friendship and just connecting, catching up on life, talking through things that we're going through. A great way to have a good time with your friends.
This is how we like to do it.
Hey. I can't talk, I have a showing.
Listen.
My clients are arriving any minute.
Eleanor. Mom passed.
Right, well, on that note, I think it'd be best if you all go to hotels, for Dad's sake.
I'm Eleanor. You remember me. This is my husband, Raphael, and our daughter, Dahlia.
No.
Thank you, Eleanor. He's got memory loss. He's not deaf. The house is in Dad's name, so he's the one who has the right to sell it, and that will be full of red tape.
There has to be something I can do. Appeal for some sort of custody in lieu of our insane father.
He's not insane. He's sick, and I'm handling it.
What does that mean?
Mom always had the best clothes. She was a seamstress through and through.
She sounds amazing.
Yeah, she was a real force in nature. She definitely had a hard life from beginning to end, but she tried to be the best mom that she could.
I didn't get to say goodbye.
You said goodbye when you never came home.
And this family specializes in secrets.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
To me, Forester Camps is amazing.
To me, Forester's Camps is cool.
To me, Forester Camps is a great experience. I've always had just like a genuine interest for art, and our art teacher was like passing out flyers and stuff.
And I saw that my other friends were going to do it, so I got interested in it as well.
And this is my first college trip, so I didn't really know kind of what it's like to be in college.
College really isn't as scary as I thought it would be. Definitely go. There is a lot of really cool activities and opportunities you can get here.
Try to get yourself involved. Try to talk to other people who are like at the camp as well. Talk to like your hosts and stuff.
I mean, there's no reason not to go. I mean, you get out of school, you could come here.
It's really informative on how college actually is, and that the community here is really great.
Welcome inside Platt Arena. It was a really good run for HU right before the halftime break. They're within 4 here. You can see it was tough to get all the way back there because St. Francis, they shot 50% from the field in that first half, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, they did not miss a lot of shots that they took. I mean, clearly one of every single 2 shots they took was going in. And when a team is making their shots like that, it makes it that much tougher on you. But you can see HU was like 7-2 turnovers. They forced 3 turnovers within the end of that second quarter, and they're just playing a lot better right now, and they took a lot of momentum with them.
They did, and Huntington actually had a chance to even make it a 2 or 1 point game. Got a pretty good look from Bailey Kellum, who really in the first half was somewhat quiet. I think she ended up with 6 points. It was Melby and Yoakum who had the fast start, and then Liv Raby had a nice burst. It's going to take everyone in this second half. It can't just be one person scoring to beat this really good Cougars team.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like you said, it was Melby and Yoakum both at 8 that really led the way for them scoring-wise. But Kellum was 6, Raby was 7. It's been a team effort, and that's why they're within 4 points right now. They just need to see a little bit more from Annika Nelson and maybe Kendra Sheets. They just need to see a little bit more from the rest of their players, but they're right in this game against one of the top teams in the Women's Crossroads League.
On the other side of things, the freshman Gregory just did such a good job of scoring the basketball. She has all year long. She has 13 in the first half.
Well, and you see it with her 3 threes she made, which were, the way she started the game was 3 for 3.
Yeah.
Made 9 points early on. And then she did the rest of her work from inside, which is very rare to see a sharpshooter like that be able to work inside. She was sealing off her defenders, getting open positioning in the paint, and just scoring with ease. I mean, she is just such a good all-rounder on the offensive end.
The other one that played well for him, and there were several for St. Francis, but Cassidy Crawford dominated inside, and a lot of it was not just catch and turn. She put the ball on the floor, and that worked well against Liv Raby in that first half as well.
Yeah, Liv Raby, I'm sure they're talking about it in the locker room, but that was one of the biggest weaknesses of the Foresters was their inside presence. They were kind of just getting destroyed every single time that St. Francis went into the paint. And when a team is getting everything they want in the paint, it forces your defense to collapse. It allows wide open shots from three when they have players like McKnight and Gregory who can make those threes. So they really got to start with defensive pressure on the inside.
Huntington will have their work cut out, but at the end of the day, you see what they've done on the year. 14 turnovers per game. That's boosted up from what they did last time against Bethel. All kinds of turnovers in that one. Just 7 in that first half. A lot of them came pretty quick. If they take care of the ball, they have a good chance to stay in this game. You just want to play quarter by quarter, and even if you can cut this lead in half or stay within 4 points over the last 10 minutes, you feel like you've got a really good shot for an upset win, and Huntington really desperately needs it at this point.
Well, and the season stats prove, as you see right here, that these two teams are very close to each other. It's just statistically wise, they're right there in points per game, they're right there in assists per game, they just have a couple more turnovers, 1 or 2. They're right there in the 2-point and 3-point field goal percentage, and they're even beating them in free throw percentage. So overall, these two teams are very similar statistically wise, but the turnovers, like you said, is one of the biggest culprits of why HU has gone off to a slow record.
We're going to take one more break, and then we will be back for the second half action. About 3 minutes till we're set to start the third quarter. Huntington looking for an upset win on FDN Sports.
Visit one of our 7 BP convenience stores. And when you do, I expect you will experience hometown excellence in the cleanest and friendliest convenience stores in your community. Please also consider visiting JJ Java for the best cup of coffee in town, or JJ's Pit Stop for a quick, no appointment necessary professional oil change. Also, if you ever need a clean and efficient environment in which to do laundry, JJ's washroom is ready to serve you.
Just about set for the start of the third quarter. Just a 4-point game, 37-33. The University of St. Francis Cougars just down the road in Fort Wayne, having a great year, one of the best years in recent memories. And they're under the direction of Coach Jeremy Henney, who, if that sounds familiar to Forester fans, was actually the associate head coach for Huntington University in 2012, 2013. Those were some good years for Huntington men's basketball. 3 years at Huntington overall. And honestly, he was one of the names that came up for Forester fans before they hired Corey Alford. He was kind of in the discussion to see if he'd get the men's job, but man, he has done a fantastic job with this women's team. Right now, top 15 in the country, 19-2 and 9-2 in the toughest conference in all of NAIA.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And their record really speaks to their coaching staff. Like you said, under his direction, they've really built this team up from the ground. They've recruited a lot of great players like McKnight, Callie Gregory, the new freshman, Cassidy Crawford, who's been really solid for them, and in one of the toughest leagues in the entire Crossroads. And it just shows the grit and determination of this team and their coaching staff. I mean, they're sitting right next to us, and we're hearing them yell out plays. They're very active with their players. They're also very critiquing if they mess up, which is something that all good coaches do, and their record speaks for itself.
I think something else is that Jeremy Henney demands perfection. Of course, you know you're never going to get that, but when someone's not in the right spot during a set, you can hear him say, you need to get to this spot, you need to take care of the ball. But he also teaches them in a pleasant way. But, you know, coaches got to get on their players as well, and it's the reason for a lot of his success. Can't remember who will start with the basketball here. It'll be the Cougars' ball, it sounds like. And we'll see if Huntington's got a little run left in them here in this second half. Huntington's been on the verge of some really good wins, have just not really been able to get over the hump so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a very good chance to do that in front of their home crowd in the brand new Platt Arena. With their pink jerseys on, they have a really good shot.
Huntington sticking with the zone here. They did that for most of that second quarter and kind of got back in the game with it. Right side now caught inside by Crawford. McKnight back to Cassidy Crawford, tipped away. Nice catch by Gizzy. She was too far under the rim, and now Huntington out and running. Melby, good catch and slows it down. So you want to see right out of the break, if you're starting on the defensive end, get a stop, score here, and you feel like you've got a chance to continue that momentum you grabbed to end the first half.
I mean, after grabbing all the momentum, like you said, was right there. That is exactly what you want to see. The inside shot right there, wide open for Bailey Kellum. That is going to force their defense to collapse if they can continue to get that shot.
And Kellum had to work really hard. She came off a couple of off-ball screens there, got it, caught it, and scored. Doesn't do a lot of work inside there, but she is up to 8 now on the afternoon.
And I think that's the next dimension of her game she could work on, is getting that little bit of inside presence, because right now one of the best shooters in the Crossroads League.
Crawford falls away, another miss, hard rebound, and then Yoakum had it tipped away. Unfortunately for HU, they had numbers. They could have really gone down there and scored, but it was the good hands of another Cougar. They've been in the passing lane a lot and have made things tough for HU.
Yeah, I mean, right there, they had the 5-on-4, like you said. They had numbers, but that was a great defensive play from the Cougars to prevent that fast break, because that probably would have been a score.
Kellum looking to take the lead. That one was way off, and it's pulled down by Kelly Gregory.
And they're forcing her to take shots that are way deeper than where she normally takes them, because they're just so aggressive defensively.
Gregory stopped for a second. Nice find inside as Crawford has another easy 2.
And there's the inside paint presence that they've had all game that the Forces have had no answer for. They have got to lock down the paint a little bit better.
Raby gets doubled, has to force it to Melby. 20 on the shot clock still. Melby comes back and gets it. Working into the lane, and a foul is going to be called. It's going to be on Gizzy, and I believe that's her second. Coach Henny maybe thought it was an illegal screen.
Yeah, it very well could have been an illegal screen, but you can see a little bit of arm that she puts on Melby, which is not allowed. Maybe a little bit of selling on Melby's part as well. As, I mean, you always want to sell the contact, but overall, Forrester's still a chance to cut into this lead a little bit more.
39-35. Coach Henny reminding the refs that his team's been called for 9 fouls. Huntington's only been called for 2. Sometimes that argument is fairly reasonable. Melby again from the mid-range, left it short, got it back though, barely dribbled it out of bounds. Kellum resets with Nelson, and Melby catches it again. Out of sorts right now is the offense. Raby catches through the defense, and a travel going to be called.
Yeah, right there, took a little too many steps. They were, because of the hands from Cassidy Crawford there to knock it away from Kellum, it kind of ruined the whole offensive flow of that entire possession and forced them into a bad shot and a bad turnover.
Gregory dribbles in, and a whistle comes now. Maybe Coach Henny talked him into that one, but Gregory has still stayed on the attack, and it looks like it's a foul on Gabi Melby, which is her first.
You can see right here, maybe the hand on the back a little bit as she was trailing her. Not much contact up top on the arms or anything, but maybe a little push to the back, which is enough for the rest to call a foul.
Gregory knocks in the first. She continues her great afternoon. She's got 14 of the 40. She's also been a pretty good playmaker here today as well. Misses the second. Rebound is tipped up to Nelson. And Huntington's got some numbers. Kellum open from the right wing. Connects for a triple.
That's a huge shot. Now it's a 2-point game. You saw McKnight got shoved a little bit there. Then no call, but leads to a wide open 3 for one of the best shooters in the Crossroads League.
It's the same situation, except last time St. Francis stopped the break with the tip. That time Kellum find the open spot, and now a whistle comes in. I think it's going to be on Kellum.
And you see them helping her up. As a little bit of a hard foul there on the Foresters as McKnight drove in, but she's a veteran player. She knows what to do, and she attacked Kellum, and Kellum clearly got all arm there.
So McKnight back to the charity stripe. She's an 84% free throw shooter. Knocks that one in. McKnight kind of had a hot start during that first quarter, knocked in a few triples. Since then, not much, but a chance to maybe get her going again as she knocks in the pair.
Well, and they look to her as a 3-and-D player. She shoots the 3 and she defends. That's what she's really good at, and so far, she's done exactly that for them.
And with all the other weapons, you don't need her to score 18 a night. I mean,
Yeah.
if she gets you 8, you're in a good spot. Nelson trying to get the long ball going, still just can't connect from behind the three-point line.
And she has really struggled from the three-point range recently, and they're hoping to get her to get back to her normal shooting self.
Gizzy can't connect on a 3. The left-handed shooter couldn't get it to drop. Loose ball at the end. Raby goes down. McKnight has been hit a couple times here throughout this third quarter. You can see nothing wrong with this play, but McKnight's just been on the wrong end of a couple of them now.
I mean, she's a gritty player. She wants to get those loose balls. She wants to get the rebounds. She fights for them. And right there, she fought for the possession and gets the Cougars another shot.
Pass in, Gregory gets a ball screen. Nice pass inside, and now another foul. And now Huntington's starting to rack up some fouls here in this quarter. That's already 4 in the first 4 minutes.
And that's the problem when you foul once or twice, it feels like it can build up and you get a little more frustrated every single time you hear that whistle. The Foresters just got to stay disciplined on the defensive end. Is right now they're putting their hands over the defenders when they need to have them up, and they just got to get better about defending inside.
Crawford knocks in both. She's the leading scorer right now for the Cougars. Her and Gregory have been the main 2 weapons this afternoon. Yoakum quiet since that first quarter. She's got it now. Kendall putting it on the floor. Goes to her strong right. She's fouled this time, and Gregory's whistled for the personal.
And that'll be her 3rd foul, which is a huge break for the Foresters. I mean, she's been so dynamic offensively that to maybe limit her aggressiveness with 3 fouls that's a huge play.
Yoakum, who's a solid free throw shooter, has a pair. Knocks in the first, 81%. Kendall's not been able to stay on the floor maybe as much as she would like. She's been in a lot of foul trouble here and there. And when she's out there, she's such a good shooter. She can shoot you right back into a game. And we've seen that today. She's up to 10 points now.
Well, and not only is she a great shooter, she's a great defender. She has good length on the defensive end. She can guard the 2 through the 4, almost the 5. I mean, she is such a huge, versatile player for this Forester squad.
McKnight to Crawford. She likes working against the freshman. Gizzy had an opening, but goes right back inside. Crawford deep in the lane, goes to her right hand. Another loose ball. This time the Cougars come away with it. And now a whistle comes in, and for the rest of this third quarter, the Cougars are shooting free throws in the bonus.
Yeah, and you see the little reach-in by Bailey Kellum, not really needed there. I mean, they had the ball, they had the possession. There's no need to reach in there, and it's an unnecessary foul.
So Kellum has 2. She'll be subbed out for Kendra Sheets. It's going to be Callie Gregory, who's got 2 free throws. Rips the first one through. He's had as many as 31 against Taylor on 11 of 16 and 7 of 10 from 3. He's someone to watch, and as mentioned, I think she's probably already locked in Freshman of the Year, now just adding up to how high her career statistics could go.
And she kind of reminds me a little bit of Bailey Cullum, maybe a little more dynamic on the inside and from 2, but they're both just such elite shooters, and especially as soon as they enter the league, and she's going to have quite a few good years in this Crossroads League.
Huntington still within 6. St. Francis outscoring the Foresters by 2 here in this third quarter. Double comes. St. Francis tapped it out of bounds. We're about 26 seconds away from our media timeout. See, that pass was tightly contested.
Yeah, I mean, those are the risky passes that have forced a lot of turnovers. And you got to be careful. I mean, as Melby, as the playmaker, she's got to see that the players are coming over as what a defensive play, but Melby with the hustle.
Got an open Sheets in the far corner. Didn't see her right away. 3 on the shot clock. Shank's going to have to force it up, and Melby didn't get it off in time. I thought that maybe There was a change of possession there, but they didn't seem to think the Cougars had the ball long enough.
Well, I mean, she fully collected the ball after, and then Melby stole it. So that should have been a change of possession, but the refs didn't think so. And the Foresters need to get that shot up there. Shank needs to put that up because that is essentially a grenade you're throwing Melby of a turnover.
Right side, big to big, as it's caught inside by Crawford. She has to spin it out to Gizzy. Right wing three is up and in, and that time it was Julia Mantala who knocked in the triple.
And that's a huge shot as now they go back up by 9. The Cougars starting to gain a little momentum here.
Melby crosses it over, gets it in that right corner. Yoakum puts it on the floor. Tough pass inside Shank, and it was a wild shot missed. Gizzy, catch, score, and what a find by Cassidy Crawford.
That was a beautiful pass, and now the double-digit lead.
Foul called, and now a technical is going to be called as well. And we'll wait and see who it's going to be on, as it's going to be on Shank, I believe. So the personal is on Mantala, and then a technical foul on Addie Shank, and I guess we can sort this all out when we come back from the media timeout. It's 51-40. We're going to take a break on FDN Sports.
This is how we like to do it.
Bippa State Bank is a cornerstone of the community. Our banking building blocks were assembled in 1911 and haven't differed much since then. We still stay true to our local roots, aiming to support, uplift, and celebrate the citizens and businesses of Huntington. As proud lenders to and patrons of our local businesses, we make our community an even more prosperous place. And when you support local banking, you play an important role in Huntington's success stories. No matter what financial products you may need, your business is an invaluable opportunity for us to strengthen our relationship with Huntington, which we're fortunate enough to call home. Bippa State Bank is banking at its best. We believe in community banking.
Okay, so we had a personal foul on the Cougars on that play. It went on Julia Mantala, and then it was Addie Shank called for a technical foul after the play. You can see it's kind of a wide angle, but on the far left side of your screen, you see Mantala bumps into Shank, and then after the play, Shank claps her hands and is called for a technical. I don't know about that one. I feel like you kind of let the players play, but I guess it's a tee, and that is not good at all because it was 2 free throws that were knocked in by St. Francis. It was McKnight who knocked them in, and then they got the ball back. Fortunately for HE, they turned it over, but that's a really tough technical on Shank. It didn't even look like she said anything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that clapping your hands is worthy enough penalty for getting called for a technical, but I mean, maybe she says something and we just didn't hear, but that's definitely a rough turn of events for the Foresters.
Yeah, now it's a 13-point lead for St. Francis. Melby trying to make it 10. That one is off to the left. Pulled down by Cassidy Crawford, who's had a great day today. Got 16, 4, and 3. Fordyce to the left, bounces it in. Crawford gets to her strong right. Left is short, got her own miss. Second attempt is in.
And she has just been so dynamic inside. The Forcers still have no answer on how to guard her in there.
Huntington's got to start scoring again like they were here early in the second half, and a foul is called as Raby was trying to get to her left hand. And this one is called on Gizzy, who came over and swatted Raby on the arm.
Getting a little foul happy. The refs are calling their whistle a little bit too much. I mean, we saw a first half where really there were very little foul calls being called. I mean, the refs barely blew their whistle, but it's gotten a lot more physical as we've gone on in this second half, and refs having to blow their whistle a little bit more.
So Gizzy has to take a break with 3 personals. Liv Raby has 2 free throws coming with 3:30 left in the third quarter. Huntington's got to go on a similar type run they did the end of the first half.
Well, and what they really need is they need Annika Nelson and Bailey Kellum to come alive, because if those two can start scoring, it puts so much pressure on the Cougars. It opens up the floor for Raby and Melby to score. They need their dynamic scorers from 3 and from inside, and Annika and Bailey Kellum to get going here.
Fordyce running the point with Gizzy out. She turns it over as Nelson used some good hands to take it away. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Sheets wide open, top of the key, too strong. Huntington has just not been able to hit that one shot to kind of pull this game closer.
Yeah, and especially when you get into transition like that, you get the transition offense, get a wide open look from 3. You have to make those. This St. Francis team is too good defensively to give up those open looks and not make them.
Amaya Stout inside Crawford between 2 defenders. Miss it. Somehow it's pulled out of there by Stoddard. And now a travel call.
Oh. No, it's a double dribble is what they called it, even though Melby hit the ball a little bit there.
Take a look here. Melby knocked that one away, and they called it, that's a bad call.
Well, I mean, she also dribbled like this, which I don't think is allowed.
No, but yeah, I thought that
if Melby hits it,
right.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a call. I agree, that is not a great call, but it goes the Forrester way.
Raby swings it out. Nelson thought about the corner 3, spins to the right, floats it in, and that's more of what you'd like to see from Nelson.
Yes.
Maybe stop taking the threes and start driving to the lane and getting to the rim.
Yeah, I mean, Annika Nelson, when she gets that head of steam downhill, gets to her floater, the mid-range game, she is so deadly from there. I mean, clearly not in the greatest in a really bad shooting slump right now. So to get inside and get easy looks like that is huge.
Stout now running the point. The freshman from Elkhart getting some serious minutes here in this one. Got it now, working against Melby. Bounces it in. Crawford able to get her footing back. McKnight launches one from the parking lot. Thought it was going to go down, but the rebound is yanked out of there by Raby.
And that's a big-time rebound by Raby. They've been getting killed on the offensive glass, and that's a huge rebound.
Melby finds Kellum. Triple from the right wing. Strong again. Nelson nearly got to it, but it's tipped out on the backside by Crawford.
And that's the effort from Nelson. She jumped up in the air, forced the Cougars to tip it, and they tipped it out. That's a second chance points for the Foresters because of the hustle of Nelson.
This game is kind of amped up a little bit. The physicality is there, and you can tell both teams working really hard to either extend the lead or get a little closer. Melby back to Kellum, trying to find that rhythm from deep. Haven't said Yoakum's name much in this second half either. Maybe she can hit a big shot. Here she is. Thought about firing. Back off the dribble. Gets to the rim. All right hand somehow rims out.
Yeah, that looked like it was going in from Yoakum as she's putting a little defensive pressure, but that was a nice take.
Fordyce cuts to the lane, flips it up with the right hand. Another one that rolls in and out. Yoakum down underneath, and a jump ball is going to be called.
That is great hustle from McKnight. She is making all the little nitty-gritty plays right now, gets her hands on it, and Yoakum tries to just wrestle it from her, but McKnight not willing to give it up. Still goes the Forrester way.
Darby Maggard was stomping on the floor. She thought maybe one of the Cougars had a hold of Yoakum's arm. Instead, it's a jump ball, and it is HU's basketball, but she would have loved those free throws for Yoakum.
Well, and Stoddard definitely had the arm. They just didn't see it, but, I mean, Forrester still with possession. Is another foul there on Madden. A marginal contact, but to the free throw line goes Raby.
So Raby back to the free throw line. She's been there a couple times here today. Raby this afternoon, 8 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. 2 of 3 from the stripe. First one is perfect. Liv just surpassed the total that she had in the first matchup between the Cougars. She had just 8 in that one. Having a nice afternoon, extremely efficient from the field. Knocks in the second, into double digits.
And if the Foresters can just get this to a 7, 6, 5-point game going into the fourth quarter, they feel like they can win this. They just have to get some stops here on this Cougars offense.
Up top, Stoddard looking for a cutter. One of these guards, it's Fordyce. Dribbles it into the right side. Madden back to the basket. Good hands by HU. It's tipped off of the Cougars and back to HU.
That was all Yoakum there. She forced the turnover. She came over, double teamed. She couldn't get a hold on the ball, and then Raby knocked it off of her foot. What a great hustle play from the Foresters.
So a 9-point game, 30 seconds left in this third quarter. Foresters can try to stick around in this one with a bucket here. They'd feel a lot better about their scenario. They'll be so good in these late clock scenarios. Gabi drives it in, right side, contact, shot is up, and it's a shooting foul. So she's got 2 shots coming her way.
And you see the St. Francis bench and coach calling for the shove off on the arm, but it looks like marginal contact. Let's see. Yeah, there's no push off there. That is a good call, and Melby a chance to cut it into this lead a little bit.
Melby has been really good from the free throw line this year. In fact, she's really been good from everywhere, Ryan. She's shooting career highs from the field, from 3, from the free throw line, most assists per game in the conference, all while averaging 16 points per game. She was tabbed as a first teamer in the preseason, and for good reason. She looks like one throughout most of the year.
And, I mean, she's the leader of this team. Either way you put them, obviously you have players like a bunch of sophomores that are really good scorers and defenders. She's the leader of this team. She's the senior. She's the one in the late game scenarios putting up the shots. She's that guy, or she's that girl for the Foresters.
Gregory up in time, left it short, and Huntington does trim into that lead there at the end of the third quarter. It'll be a 7-point lead for the Cougars. 10 minutes left on FDN Sports when we come back. Minutes left in this one. It is a 7-point lead for the St. Francis Cougars, but man, 15-point lead, 16-point lead throughout part of that third quarter, and HU did a nice job getting back in this game. You can see still fairly efficient from the field. The 3-ball has kind of escaped them a little bit, taking care of the ball. They just got to get some stops in a row and then come back and score on the other end.
Well, and you can see there, even on assists, even on turnovers, they have 2 steals compared to the Cougars 0. They have more free throws taken. The difference is the Cougars have had a lot more shots from the field. They're getting these offensive rebounds that are just absolutely killing the Foresters on defense, because you play a good 30 seconds of defense, all for the team to get another 30, 15 seconds because of an offensive rebound. All that hustle, all that effort for nothing. They really got to win this rebounding battle here in this last quarter.
So 10 minutes left, just a 7-point game. It's been a highly contested, high energy game between these two teams today. Great crowd on Store as well. 3 from McKnight, too strong, rebound fought for. Nelson was fighting hard to box out, got the rebound, then threw it away.
That's not a great play. That's a charge from Melby. Got in the perfect spot there on Cassidy Crawford, and you can tell it hit her head a little bit, but that's what happens when you take a charge. Got in perfect position for it.
Yeah, Crawford just goes right in, and Melby stood her ground. In the girls' game, the semicircle does not matter. That rule left a few years ago. I remember we had to talk about that last season. So that does not apply to the women's game. Still does in the men's game, though. Melby is so tough, just willing to give up her body for an extra possession. Huntington trying to run a set. Already just 10 on the shot clock. Melby in and out. Another foul called inside.
Oh, looks like she rolled her ankle there.
Mantilla down behind the play, and she's the one that got called for the hold.
It looked like she rolled her ankle, she either rolled her ankle or stepped on Raby's foot, which never a fun thing. You see she's limping right now. It's never what you want to see.
Yeah, it looks like she did step right on the right foot of Raby and twisted that ankle.
That's the tough part with being an inside player, is a very good chance of always landing on the foot of your defender or the person you're trying to guard, and right there is unfortunate, and you hate to see it.
So Mantilla is going to be helped off the court. Their sub checked in for St. Francis. Huntington still has the ball under their own basket. 9:15 left in the game. Bob up top. Raby with a tough catch. No Bailey Kellum in there right now. Sheets nearly threw it away, tipped out by Callie Gregory.
You see Annika flared out for the open three, but right there, you get it to Yoakum first, pump fake. Annika would have a wide open three, as Kendra's got to make the better pass there.
Ooh, they had Yoakum there on the cut as well. Melby gonna have to force it in, and it's tipped out again, and Huntington will have to inbound in the same exact spot.
They're just not running it. They're just trying to throw it in over Crawford, who has long arms, easy to get to the ball. They've got to get it to Yoakum, and as you see, they're putting it in Kendra's hands instead of Melby's.
Sheets launches it up top. Finally, they get it into Melby. St. Francis has defended those out-of-bounds plays well all day. Melby, wild shot, and it's going to be off of her and back to St. Francis.
And how about that defense from Crawford there? Stayed with Melby, who's a little bit faster than her, just stayed with her feet. Got in the perfect spot to defend that shot. That was great defense.
I know we're into the fourth quarter, but if you want to let us know where you're watching from today, we'd love to give you a shout out. FDN Sports can see all the comments, where you're watching from. We'd love to say hello and appreciate you tuning in to this high-quality basketball game, as it's another travel on Crawford. That's the third time she's taken too many steps today.
Well, right there, she didn't even use her pivot foot. She just kind of started walking backwards, which she just can't do. I mean, she didn't even dribble the ball there. There shouldn't be much confusion on why that call was called.
7-point lead for St. Francis, 8:45 on the clock. Get past Sheets up top. Kellum coming to the scores table now, and that was definitely a little too aggressive by McKnight there. She's called for the personal.
Well, and she's looking around like, what did I do? The problem is there's a certain plane of access you can be as a defender. You can't get inside the trajectory of where the offensive player is going, and right there she cut her off, and you just can't do that as a defender unless you're already established in that position, which she wasn't.
Kellum back in. She's got it now. Yoakum catches, shoots, and hits.
That is a huge three from Yoakum, a catch and shoot, and she was hot in the first half. Let's see if she can continue to shoot it here.
I think she needs to start taking some more shots. Been really efficient from downtown today. Inside, Crawford back to the basket, takes a tough one. Raby tipped it. They said they little too much body there. She's called for the personal.
I mean, Crawford's a very physical player. She forces you to play physically, and just a little too much there from Raby. I mean, all ball, but like you said, a little too much body contact.
Back to the free throw goes Crawford. 71% on the year. Cassidy having a great day. Rips that one through. She is not even hardly touched the net on most of her free throws today as well. It's so nice to have a forward/center that can step up to the line, and you know that she's going to, most of the time, knock them in.
Well, and with all her footwork that she is, she's such a tricky player on offense that it's hard to really game plan for her, and she takes advantage of it.
Kellum finds Raby on the run.
Wow.
She's blocked by Crawford, who can do it on the defensive end as well.
That was a tremendous play. Raby had a wide open layup, and Crawford with the hustle to get back and just swats it out of bounds.
She has just been everywhere today. She's done it from the free throw line. She's done it from inside. Now she's doing it on defense. And that's a big bucket for HU if they knock it in there. It makes it a one-possession game. Nelson, she'll drive in, flips it to Raby. Great catch, and now skips it out. Nelson trying to knock in a three, and finally has.
The timely three with their shooting slump. That is a huge shot, down to a 2-point game. The Foresters in this one.
7:41 left, just a one-possession game now. Felt like it was only a matter of time until Nelson finally got a triple to go.
And
now
she
blocks it, kept it in. A foul called, and it should be on St. Francis because, yeah, Huntington had possession of the basketball.
Yeah, and they held her arm. Yeah, I mean that is the right call there. Obviously, St. Francis crowd not agreeing, but you can't grab the arm of the player after they have the possession, and that's what happened there.
So Gizzy's called for the personal. That's her fourth. She'll have to take a seat.
She's the main defender on Melby, so that's a huge player out right now, and she's arguably their best perimeter defender.
Huntington right in this game now. Should be a tight one the rest of this 7.5 minutes. Melby right away fires short. That is a little quick into the shot clock there by Melby.
Yeah, you can get a better look than that. I mean, Melby's a good three-point shooter, but you would much rather have Yoakum or Kellum taking that shot than Melby.
Back to work goes Gregory, trying to cut inside. Yoakum with the good hands again. Up top, Crawford. So good in these dribble scenarios. Right side, McKnight right in front of us. Three on the way from Crawford. No good again. It went over top of the backboard, and it's Huntington's ball.
I thought they called a foul call for a second. I was trying to look. I'm like, where did the foul call come from? But Foresters within 2 points and a chance to either tie or take the lead here.
Coach Jeremy Henney wants a timeout. It's going to send us to the media timeout as well. It's a 2-point lead for the Cougars when we come back to Platt Arena.
I can't talk, I have a showing.
Listen.
My clients are arriving any minute.
Eleanor. Mom passed.
I think it'd be best if you all go to hotels for Dad's sake.
I didn't get to say goodbye.
You said goodbye when you never came home.
To me, Forester Camps is definitely a lot of fun.
Fantastic.
Telling.
Something that everybody can find something that interests them.
A space to learn new things in a safe environment.
To me, Forester Camps is getting to be a home away from home, I guess. You learn a lot here and you learn it well.
I plan on being an author once I'm done with college, so this seemed like a really fun opportunity for me.
It was just glad to meet new people in general and just kind of enjoy the workshop and just take away what I can from it and make myself a better writer.
That whole thing about how to write for musicals, I'd never even thought of that before, but that was awesome.
Huntington down as many as 15 in this second half. Has made it just a 2-point game with 6:51 to go. This is where we kind of talked about, Ryan. Huntington's been on these runs, but they've got to sustain it, come up with one of these quality wins now here at home.
And this is the biggest offensive possession of the game so far. If they can score here, just 2 or 3 points, possibly take the lead. Huge play.
Yoakum had it knocked away by Stout. A loose ball right on the baseline. Hard to see who's even got possession, but it's a jump ball, and it's the Foresters basketball.
That's a huge play for the Foresters, as could have been a turnover there, but instead we have another chance for the Foresters to score.
Darby Maggard is having a discussion with one of the officials. Scott Geis, Timothy Cartwright, and Reyes Ramirez, the 3 officials here today. They've had a tight one to call. It's been a back and forth game.
Well, and both teams have been so physical.
Nelson has the catch from Melby. Now Annika trying to go back to the rim. Yoakum launches a deep triple. That one just offline.
And that's not the shot you want there. A deep contested 3. I mean, yeah, you want to try and take the lead, but you feel like you can get into Raby, who can possibly get into some good positioning there and kick it out for a better look.
Crawford, 2 defenders come. It's caught by Stout. McKnight, shot fake back to the rim, and a big foul inside by Raby. And McKnight, a couple more free throws.
And another foul on Raby there inside as McKnight, a really good drive, and looked like she almost got hit in the face there, but McKnight, she has just taken a lot of hard shots from the Forester team throughout this game, but that just shows her willingness to put her body on the line for a few extra possessions and occasionally some buckets.
She's been perfect at the free throw line. She's got 11 points now. Looking for 12, and there it is. 3 on the court for St. Francis in double digits, 4 on the court for HU with 10 plus, and the other one, Nelson, has 9. Raby strong to the left, up too strong as it's defended well by Crawford.
And that's not Raby's shot, that driving to the rim contested. She's usually more of a post-up player and need to look to get better offensive possessions. They're just taking some shots that they don't really need to take right now.
Gregory back to work, good pass. Fordyce cut and scored, and now it's a 6-point game.
The Foresters have to stop them, and they have to get a bucket here. The Cougars trying to take the momentum back for the rest of this game.
Now just 5:25 left. Probably a good time to get the ball in the hands of Kellum or Melby. Foul for Raby as she was inside battling for position, and that one is on Taylor Fordyce. And now Huntington shoots free throws the rest of the way as well.
Yeah, that's a huge foul against the Cougars. It's now a team that's been super physical the entire game will have to rely on being a little more passive on the defensive end because they don't want to send the Foresters to the free throw line, who've been very effective from there.
Raby knocks in the first one. One more coming. Huntington now 12 of 14 from the free throw line today. 13 of 15. Really good number for HU, and that's kept them in this game.
Yeah, they are a very good free throw shooting team, so the Cougars have got to be careful.
That is a loose ball tapped out by Melby as Gregory was fighting hard against the senior guard. McKnight will trigger it right in front of her bench. Fordyce. Backup point guard running it right now with Gizzy on the bench with 4 fouls. Imagine we'll see Isabella here in the near future. Backed in, tough shot off the side of the backboard, ripped away by Raby. Great job against Crawford there.
Huge defensive stop, and they need a bucket here.
Melby uses the screen, tries cutting, takes a tough shot, and it's missed and pulled away by Stout.
Once again, not the shot you want, and Melby fouls there. Not a good play from Melby, and just not a good shot, and then the unnecessary reach in there.
Been a couple of situations where Huntington has been really close to blowing the lid off this place, but hasn't been able to hit the shot, and it'll also send us to our last media timeout here at the break. 4:36 left. Huntington still trying to get all the way back.
JJ's, I invite you to visit one of our 7 BP convenience stores. And when you do, I expect you will experience hometown excellence in the cleanest and friendliest convenience stores in your community. Please also consider visiting JJ Java for the best cup of coffee in town, or JJ's Pit Stop for a quick, no appointment necessary professional oil change. Also, if you ever need a clean and efficient environment in which to do laundry, JJ's washroom is ready to serve you.
final 4:36. Huntington is down as many as 15 in the second half. Got it all the way back to 2, but they just cannot get over that hump right now, Ryan. What needs to change in their goal and their game plan the rest of the way to find a way to squeak this one out?
What needs to change is their offensive mindset. Every time that they get close to either tying the game or taking the lead, they start taking really bad shots. I mean, we're seeing deep contested threes, driving downhill on 2 defenders right there, forcing out bad shots, and then the Cougars are able to take advantage and score on the other end and push the lead back up. They just need to fight for some higher quality looks and obviously lock in here on the defensive possession, as the Cougars can still put this game away by scoring.
Huntington's in the bonus the rest of the way. 2 more fouls against the Foresters will put St. Francis there the rest of the way as well. Stout, the freshman, getting a lot of playing time right now with Gizzy still on the bench to our left.
It's Crawford.
Crawford doubled, taken away by Nelson. 1 defender to beat. Annika, strong to the rim, could not get the layup to go.
And her offensive struggle is continuing. She had that really big 3, but that's usually a bucket she makes in most games.
Ball away shot, not there. Crawford has the board. It's going to be on the floor against Melby, as Crawford a couple times has created a few extra possessions.
Yeah, and you saw she's reaching for the ball, but Crawford takes advantage, gets her arm wrapped up there, and draws the foul. Great play from Crawford.
It's Melby's 3rd, so not really in foul trouble here with 4 minutes left in the game. Cougars get it in. Crawford finds a cutting Fordyce, swipes through the lane, nearly tipped away. McKnight to Crawford, 10 on the shot clock. Yoakum, one of the best ball defenders on it. Stout to McKnight, launches a deep one, way off. It looked to be on line, but slightly off to the left. A great defensive possession.
Yeah, and that was all HU. I mean, that was some good movement with the ball there from the Cougars, but the Foresters just fought harder and forced them into a bad shot. Let's see if they can convert here.
You can hear Coach Hinney clapping on Samaya Stout, saying good minutes for a freshman. She just played some serious minutes down the stretch in a big-time game. Nelson to Raby. Here comes the double, but she scores it either way.
That is a really big shot, as it's back down within 2. If they can get 1 stop here and just score another easy one inside like that, they're tie game and a chance to beat top 15 team in the Crossroads League.
Liv has just been ultra efficient, up to 14 points now with that last bucket. Crawford back to the basket, falls away. Tough shot taken, tough shot missed. Raby pulls it out of there. Right side, Kellum was ready to fire. She'll slow it down, and offense will start over here with Liv at the top of the key. Puts it on the floor, scores it with her left.
And Raby just attacking Crawford, who's had her number on those downhill drives, but Raby wants to attack Crawford and does so there effectively.
Freshman has it. Back to the basket, good defense here by HU. Crawford right at the free throw line. Goes back to work, loses it, but a whistle comes.
And that should send her to the free throw line. That's the 5th.
Discussion here to see if it was on Raby or another Forester, and it's on Yoakum, who reached in there, and tough whistle. You don't need to reach.
No.
Raby's done a pretty good job in the second half, staying one-on-one with Crawford, and now that's her 3rd, and the rest of the way St. Francis shoots free throws.
Yeah, and after tying the game now, Crawford has been ultra efficient from the line, gives them the lead right back.
Kind of has a little hitch in her free throw shot right at the top, but it's efficient, it goes in.
That's what matters. If it goes in, it goes in.
Second one is perfect as well, and Coach Hinney wants a timeout. It's just going to be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. But we saw Huntington, they finally tied this one up, and then right back on the other end, a good set and good offensive production by Crawford all day long. It's just really been a handful for HU.
Yeah, I mean, this is their top 15 team for a reason. The Foresters have to execute here almost perfectly if they're going to win this game. I mean, you can't count on the Cougars to mess up on their own. You have to be the one to mess them up through your defensive aggression. We'll see if the Foresters can stay out of the fouling business and stop from sending them to the line, and if they can get some shots here.
And on paper, we thought the men's game would probably be the better of the two games as far as the competition, how close it was. But this women's game is about as good as you can get. It looked like St. Francis was going to run away, but Huntington, they just do not bury themselves. They do not just die and move on to the next game. They stay fighting, they stay alive, and they've done that today. And talking about the men's game, that's up next. That's a team with St. Francis who's right above Huntington in the Crossroads League standings. Huntington still in the top 20, top 10 in the RPI. We'll talk more about that, but both of these games today should be great, and this women's game has definitely lived up to the hype.
And we'll see these final 2 minutes and 10 seconds if the Foresters can tie it here.
Raby looking for a backdoor cut with Melby. Kellum has to come and get it. Just 10 on the shot clock. Kellum flipped it over the top. Melby kept it in. Raby catches and scores.
Raby has taken over at the end of this game, and she is attacking Crawford at every chance she gets, and Crawford not shown the ability to stop her right now.
6 straight for her. She's up to 18 now. Crawford looking inside. They're posting up Gregory on Melby. In and out dribble, left side Fordyce. Gizzy, who's back in there with 4 fouls. Crawford spins to her left and scores.
That's a huge shot there and gives them back up by 2 points, but we'll see if Raby has another answer.
Just got way too deep inside against Raby there and scored it easy. They'll go right back to Liv, though. Wide open is Kellum in the corner. Liv calls her own number, left that one short. She had Kellum wide open in that far corner.
Yeah, she needs to get that one to Kellum. Kellum, one of the best shooters in the Crossroads League. That would have given them the lead and put a lot of pressure on the Cougars if she made it.
Still not done yet. A minute left. Huntington will absolutely get another chance. They just got to get a stop now defensively.
Their chance to win really leans on this possession right here.
Gregory strong to the hoop, misses it. Yoakum pulls away the loose ball. Darby Maggers trying to call a timeout and did not get rewarded with one, as they're asking for the refs to come and look at that, and they can do that. And that is exactly what the refs are going to do.
They should be allowed to review it.
That's absolutely allowed.
So I don't know why the Cougars fans are mad. I mean, you can review a play like that.
So Coach Darby Maggard is pleading her case. She's absolutely allowed to ask for a replay in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, and the referees are going to come over with our replay crew and figure out what happened.
So the refs will come over here. And we'll actually stay live here, and the refs will get a good look at this to decide if this is off
We'll see here what they're looking for. Well, it looked like it was tipped by the Cougars, but it also looked like Darby was calling the timeout.
She was. She was asking for a timeout, but the ref did not see it.
Which, I mean, that's a tough break.
It is.
That would have allowed them to get possession and chance to tie, but, I mean, if it's still a turnover, Foresters have to only get 15 seconds to tie it if they can get a stop.
So you can see there, they're trying to see if Yoakum had this pass tipped away. I don't think it actually was, just based off of the angle we see here.
Well, you don't see it move or like, because you see right here, goes right around Crawford.
I guess the one angle they could use is underneath the basket. Yoakum, it could have been tipped from behind by Gregory. I don't know if we can run that back just a little further and see, because at the same time, we also can't see if Melby touched it, but if Gregory tipped it there.
Yeah, that's true. Her hand moved out. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really tough to tell.
Really tough to tell.
But that's my thinking, is if Gregory tipped it from behind and knocked it towards Yoakum's hand.
Because Melby didn't touch it.
No.
So it's either off Yoakum or it's off Gregory here. My guess would be Yoakum.
I just don't know if there's enough to overturn it necessarily.
I mean, the worst part for the Foresters is that it should have been a timeout.
Yes,
they
that
just
is what's really frustrating.
Wasn't able to get in. I mean, that happens. Refs don't always hear the timeout being called. That happens in every sport. So I mean, you can't really fault them for it. It just happens. But
so we'll wait and see.
From this angle, it definitely looks like it's off Yoakum.
Yep, I kind of agree with you. I think it should be St. Francis' ball. I think if they had a little more to go off of, maybe one other angle that was closer up, and you could see if it was Gregory reached around and tipped it, then you could definitely do it.
That's what that angle showed.
Yeah.
It showed that she more hit the hand, not the actual ball, which could be a foul in itself.
And what they're starting to do is, in the NBA, they are allowing them to now go challenge and take a look at that. And if it's a foul, they can call a foul, actually. And then Huntington would have free throws. But we're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet. But it should be St. Francis ball, and the Foresters will have to play another 30 seconds of good defense here.
Man, that is just really unfortunate because Darby Maggard was screaming timeout, and then it was thrown out of play. And it's just something that's obviously not reversible, but you almost wish that one of the refs was working his way down the court a little further and it'd still be Huntington's ball. It is a long discussion, though, so that makes you wonder what might be going on.
I mean, the longer they discuss, the better chance it is for an overturn. I mean, that's anytime you see a referees talk, there's usually a better chance of it being overturned, so we'll see what they decide to go with here.
There's a look there. And we'll wait and see who it's going to be. So they are going to say that, I think they just said that Black touched it. It's going to be Huntington's ball.
It is Huntington ball. Wow. And that is why replay is so important in sports.
Remember, it was the pass here and the tip around from McKnight.
Yeah.
So it's Huntington's basketball. It's a good challenge by Darby Maggard.
Yeah, that was a huge challenge by Maggard, and the Foresters a good chance to tie or take the lead here with only 45 seconds remaining.
I think it's a tough whistle on St. Francis, but Huntington will take it. Now they got to take care of it. Kellum off the dribble, cuts through the lane. Yoakum wide open for three and hits it.
Yoakum, what a clutch shot. Foresters up one, their first lead of the game. Just need to get one stop on St. Francis.
Callie Gregory has the ball now. They can take the last shot technically if they want it. McKnight fires a long triple. That one's no good. Melby's got the rebound, and now it's the foul game for the Foresters.
And St. Francis misses not the shot you want there from McKnight. As you see, Crawford fouls Melby. Melby, a really good free throw shooter. The Foresters a chance to go up 3 with 12 seconds remaining, and a chance to knock off the 14th seed in the Crossroads League.
Yoakum has just been unstoppable today. She's got 16 points, 4 of 6 from downtown.
Timely shots as well, very timely shots in this second half.
Melby misses the first. As good as they have been all day long from the charity stripe. They miss one here late in this game.
And you need this shot because a 3 obviously is worst case scenario against the Cougars, or for the Cougars. But now all they need is to get it into Crawford, who's been really solid inside, and they could tie it up pretty easily.
So now Coach Henney, what they can do in the women's game is call a timeout and advance it right up here in the half court. I will say, either way, if that call would have gone towards St. Francis or Huntington, our replay crew did the best thing possible. We had all different angles, and I'm not sure which way it should have gone, honestly. It's a really tough call.
Close,
I just didn't think they had enough to overturn it, and that's me coming as a Forester announcer. I don't know. I just think it was a really tough whistle, but at the end of the day, HU has a lead, and they're not going to apologize for whether it was a ref mistake or not. They've got the lead with 12.6 seconds left, and they can take a 3 to win it, or they can try to tie it, and then Huntington still gets the last shot.
I mean, in my opinion on that call that they reviewed, it looked like, from what I saw on the below the goal post camera view, wasn't so much that Gregory hit the ball, it was she hit the hand of Yoakum, forcing it to go away. She didn't want it to. And in the NBA, that is a foul. 9 times out of 10, in almost any basketball league, that is a foul. So I'm guessing they saw that play, and they're like, well, we can't call the foul, so we'll just give it to the Foresters because she influenced where the ball was going, even though she didn't get on the ball.
Yeah, I'll be interested to ask Darby Maggard what the explanation was there on that play. But now with 12.6 seconds left, St. Francis needs a bucket to either tie or take the lead.
And I'm guessing it's probably going to go to Gregory here. She's the best player on this team. Can she come through?
Callie has it. Finds Crawford inside. She goes to work, forces it up,
wow!
And it drops in. And now Huntington calls a timeout to advance it to the half court.
And Crawford, she's done that all game long, up to 23 points, unstoppable inside. And wow, what a play from Crawford. And the Foresters just under 5 seconds to get the win here in Platt Arena.
If you're HU, you do not want this one to go to overtime.
No.
I think you want to win it in regulation,
Yes.
and obviously they'll have a chance to do that. It's a full timeout, but we're going to keep it here.
Something tells me it's going to be a Yoakum 3.
I think that you're going to put the ball into the hands of Melby, and she's either going to take the game-winning shot or she's going to find an open teammate to do so.
I mean, you're going to get the ball to Melby here, who's your playmaker, but my guess is they're going to set either some off-ball flare screens to get Yoakum or Kellum wide open for an open 3, because those catch-and-shoot opportunities are what the Foresters are best at.
We'll
so
see what
they can get it.
Huntington ends up going with. I think, obviously, the ball is going to be in the hands of your playmaker, and that's got to be Melby. And
obviously.
I'd feel comfortable with her going one-on-one off the dribble and taking a little 15-footer as well. I just think at the end of the day, Huntington win or lose, what a basketball game. This has just been an incredible game for both teams.
As entertaining as they come, I mean, both teams fighting hard. I mean, it involved some comebacks from the Foresters, had to come back from down double digits twice in this game. And now, let's see if they can give the Foresters fans what they're looking for. I know.
Back in Platt Arena with 4.7 seconds left. Huntington a chance for a top 15 win and a quality win that they've been looking for, Ryan. Here we go. Melby gonna come and get it. Still looking for an option. It's Yoakum. Dribbles to the lane, up and under, floats it up, doesn't go, and we are headed to overtime. Yoakum a pretty good look with the up and under move, but it's 66-66, and when we come back, 5 more minutes of free basketball on FDN Sports. (66-66). 40 minutes was not enough. We'll see if 45 is. What a tremendous high-level college basketball game here today. Huntington got exactly what they wanted. They fought all the way back. They had a chance to win it. Yoakum with a pretty good effort. We've seen a couple of shots bounce on the rim and go in, but that one did not, so we'll have to play a little extra time. And honestly, we're enjoying it. It's a great game.
It's a really good game.
Honestly, at the end of the day, if Huntington can win it, it'll be a really quality win for them on their resume. St. Francis, they're trying to stay in the fight for that second spot in the league.
Yeah, I mean, St. Francis, just such a good team. We saw the defensive play from Crawford to stay on Yoakum there and force her into a really tough reverse contested layup for the win. And their defense is no joke, and a really, really solid opportunity for the Foresters to knock off one of the biggest teams in their league, but also a really good chance for the Cougars to win this game that they probably should have won after they went up 15.
So they'll tip it up here in the middle again. And Huntington is going to be going from left to right in front of us, right to left in front of you. So Huntington's going the same way they were in the second half. It's Nelson and Crawford in the middle. And it's tipped. Kellum's going to run it down. She's got a chance to go quick.
Oh,
and
what
had
a
it tipped
defensive
away.
play from Gregory. Wow.
It's a tough way to start because the possession arrow now goes to St. Francis since Huntington got that. Gregory against Melby. Freshman against senior. Has the size. Up too strong. Tipped away. And it's fought for. McKnight gets the loose ball. Also, the fouls stay the same, so both teams still in the bonus.
McKnight, she has just been everywhere on the offensive glass, hustling for every play.
Izzy bounces into McKnight. This time goes up and underneath the basket.
Foul.
And is called for a whistle.
She can't reach in there. That is a risky reach, and Yoakum is going to be sent to the free throw line, one of their best free throw shooters. Forrester's a chance to go up too.
That is not a smart foul by McKnight there. She's played so well, and it's been tough inside, but after you miss the shot and don't get the rebound, you got to get back, because now you're potentially giving away free points.
Yeah, I mean, especially since this isn't like other leagues where overtime the fouls reset. They're still in the bonus, and just like that, they're right back down.
Yoakum knocks in the first. It's a 1-point lead for HU. Kendall having an awesome game, and she stays perfect at the line, 6 for 6. And she is now up to 18 points. Her best game of the year.
She has been huge. I mean, Melby and Kellum haven't been as effective on the offensive end as you'd want, but Yoakum and Raby have really stepped up here.
Another piece to this, they're missing Mantilla, who went out with that ankle injury. She's usually on the floor in these late game scenarios.
And Kendall, that was a block by Kendall Yoakum, came over and blocked from the weak side, her blind spot. That was a great play from Yoakum.
Just 7 seconds on the shot clock.
Wow, what a play. That arguably could have gone out on Crawford, but they just decided to give it back to Cougars with 7 seconds.
Gregory looking for an option. McKnight took the last shot. Up top, Crawford off the dribble. Reach in by Yoakum. The shot is good, and an and-one opportunity coming in.
And there's no reason for Yoakum to reach in there. I mean, that was, she reached in and fouled her. There's no reason. If she's going to get downhill like that, just let Raby defend and see if she can defend her one-on-one there. And she's done a really good job so far this game. There's no need for that. And now the Cougars back up by 1.
Yeah, back and forth we go. They actually called it on the upper forearm of Raby, so that's her 4th. It's a big foul the rest of the way.
Even though it looked like Yoakum reached in, too.
Good screen by Melby. She gets it back from Liv. Trying to cut to the rim. Threw one way high. Kept in. Kellum, a good catch. Raby's got a good position inside. Spins back to her right. Floats it up. Too strong, and Gizzy clears.
That's a good shot. Just a little too hard, and we'll see if the Cougars can push this to a 2-possession game or possibly up 3.
1-point lead for St. Francis. Gregory hands it off to Crawford. She goes against Raby, misses it. Good defense by Liv. Huntington has numbers. Melby, coast to coast, finds Kellum. Shot fake, drive for Bailey. She's bumped and scores.
That could have been an and-one. They just didn't call it, as Cassidy Crawford wasn't in positioning of, I'm shocked they didn't call that foul.
Either way, the shot goes down. It's a 1-point lead for HU, and when Bailey Kellum has been quiet, she keeps coming up with big buckets.
Yeah, 13 points for Kellum now.
Gregory goes into Raby. That's blocked and taken away.
Olivia Raby, 2 huge defensive plays in a row. Forces a chance to go up 3 or 4.
Gotta get a good shot here, Ryan. Draw up your best play. 2 minutes left in overtime. Huntington up 1 on the top 14 team in the country. Swing pass, caught in the corner, reset with Melby. They're trying to get Raby back to work here. High post drive. Crawford working against her. Liv floats it up and gets the roll.
What a shot. I mean, the pivot to get around Crawford and has a little finger roll to go in. That was a pretty move from Olivia Raby.
Leading scorer for HU right now with 20. Coming off 22 against Bethel on Wednesday night.
That has been an entertaining battle between Crawford and Raby. That has been a really fun matchup to watch.
8 on the shot clock. Crawford bounces it out. McKnight launches a long one and hits it again.
What a shot from McKnight. We've seen her miss a couple of those, but big-time players make big-time shots, and McKnight, who's been a huge player for them this entire game, with the biggest shot of the Cougars game.
It's a full timeout with 1:22 left. It's actually going to be a 30. I thought St. Francis wanted a full 72-72. And McKnight, she's not taking these shots from just right behind the three-point line. She's 4 or 5 feet out there and just continues to knock it in.
Oh, that's the and one on Crawford. That was such a good drive. Raby a little too aggressive, but I mean, like you said, that's a couple feet out. That is a really tough shot. Kellum was right there. She closed out really well, I thought. And I mean, sometimes good players just make tough shots, and that's what that was. That was a tough shot that she drills in overtime to tie this game back up.
McKnight is having a good afternoon. She's got now 15. Crawford has 28. Gregory has 16. The rest of the team, though, just 5, 4, 2, and 2. For Huntington, Liv Raby has 20 and 8. Yoakum has 18 and 5. Kellum with 13 and 3. And Melby has 11. Nelson with 9. Sheets with just the 1. Tied game. 1 minute left in overtime. Yoakum, strong catch. Raby has a double coming to her. Gotta find the open player. Kellum puts it on the floor, gets to the rim, had it tucked away.
Crawford with a huge defensive play, and can the Foresters get a stop, or the Cougars go right back up?
Less than a minute remaining. It's the freshman Callie Gregory running the show. Fordyce gets a screen from McKnight. Fordyce into the lane, bumped on her way there, tipped around.
Huge
Huntington
play.
gets the loose ball.
And here we go. Can the Foresters get another quality look and take the lead back?
Gotta think, eventually you gotta think that the post play has worked.
Give it to Raby.
Give it to Raby, yes, but I also think they're now doubling. So what can we do to work out of that double? Either work a ball screen with Raby and Melby and get your best player going downhill, or Raby needs to catch quickly and someone's got to be open on the opposite side, the weak side, to knock in a 3.
Well, and because of Raby's play, they can run the inside-out play where you get it to Raby, who's been effective inside. Crawford hasn't shown the ability to guard her every single time down the floor. So it's going to force this Cougar defense to collapse on Raby, as we see with the double team. And then that's when players like Yoakum and Kellum can get these off-ball flare screens from Gabi Melby, possibly Annika Nelson, and get a wide open shot. And that's what they need to do. They need to run these inside-out plays, get some looks, and once you have the players jumping on open looks, that's what you want.
And here's the deal. At the end of the day, St. Francis is going to get the last shot now.
Yeah.
Melby will come and get it. It's about a
You have to score here.
9.5 second difference between the game clock and shot clock. Melby uses the ball screen, this time from Yoakum. Gabi looking for a cutter. Nelson puts it on the floor. Kellum, left side. Melby gets her defender in the air, steps back, triple, too strong, rebounded by Gizzy. And now St. Francis can hold for the last shot in the win.
And this is obviously the biggest play of the game, but what a defensive possession from the Cougars. Forced Melby. Melby got the look that you want there. A step back wide open 3 after losing the defender with the pump fake. Just couldn't make it. And that's a tough break for the Foresters, who have really played such a good, high-quality game so far.
And I really thought, I'm not questioning the shot because it was a good look from Melby, but I thought she could have drove in, and then maybe the defense comes, you kick to a standing still catch and shoot shooter, or shoot a little 15-footer. Either way, it was a good look, and it was well executed by Melby. Now HE's got to get another stop and I guess play for another overtime.
Well, and I think the reason she took that shot is because at the time there was only 4 seconds left on the clock. So in those crunch time situations, what do? Do you want to risk the chance of driving in and not getting the wide open shot, or take the wide open shot that you have right there in that moment? And she chose to take it, which with a player like Gabi Melby, you can't complain about a wide open shot. Yeah, you can't complain about it. They just did it. It just didn't go in, which happened. So that, overall, that was a solid offensive play, offensive possession from the Foresters. Let's see if they can stay solid on defense.
And keep in mind, you can't foul here either. St. Francis is out of timeout, so if you can force them into a tough scenario, don't foul because they can't stop the clock. They've got to go with it. So if you double and they're trying to get out, do not foul, stay strong.
Well, and you feel like it's going to go to Crawford here, who's been effective inside, and if not, a kick out to McKnight, who's also been on fire and made that clutch three. So we'll see what they decide to go with here as Crawford with it.
Raby's got to be strong here. Liv defending Crawford. Good hands. 2 on the clock. Crawford inside is not going to get it off in time. And we'll go ahead and play 5 more minutes.
How about Raby with a defensive play? Crawford just had nowhere to go with that. And then the double team by Kendall Yoakum just allowed the Foresters to not allow her to get the open shot. That was a great play from the Foresters.
Game of the year in Platt Arena. When we come back, how about 5 more minutes? Double overtime between the Cougars and Foresters.
This is how we like to do it.
Double overtime in Platt Arena, 72-72. This game was once a 15-point lead for St. Francis, but right now nothing can separate these two sides.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are proving why they deserve to win this game. Both teams playing, executing well on the defensive end. I honestly think that the defensive play from both teams has been more impressive than the offensive play, because both teams have had a lot of struggles here to finish out games, missing some open shots, missing these late game scenario shots. But the defense has just been incredible, and it really is going to, who can stay with that defensive execution better? Can the Foresters stay with it, or will the Cougars play better defense? That's what it's going to come down to.
Telling you, the men's crowd is really funneled in here as well, so it's pretty much a packed arena for the end of this one. And if you just got here, it's the best game you'll probably see all year in a women's basketball game in Platt Arena. Nelson tips it forward.
So now the possession will go to the Foresters in jump ball.
Yep.
So that's a huge, I mean, obviously you want the first shot, but I mean, now there's been a lot of jump balls in this game. Now you get possession with it.
Crawford swings it. Gizzy wide open. The lefty, too strong. Rebound to Crawford. She goes right back and scores it.
And Raby tried to block out, but just had too much momentum going backwards and fell over. That's a tough thing to happen for the Foresters here.
Crawford now is 30 points. Raby with the size, falls away and left it short. Should not have gone away from that shot.
No, not at all. Just goes straight up over Gizzy there. She has 4 fouls. You could possibly draw a foul on her, get her out of the game, one of their best defenders, and get an open look over a smaller defender.
Back inside Crawford. She had the last 2. That one's missed.
Raby
Nearly
again.
over the back, but Raby forced the miss. Up ahead, Nelson. That is not a good pass from Kellum, and Huntington pays for it with the turnover. Get it to your point guard on the left wing.
Yeah, that's not the look there. Nelson had too much momentum going there, could not control it. Not the greatest play from Kellum.
Back inside Crawford, they keep going to this. Huntington staying one-on-one. Fordyce wide open, and because the double came, it's an easy bucket.
Yeah, and you can't do that. Just trust Raby, who's gone plenty of stops on her near the end of this game. You have to trust your player there on the one-on-one.
And that's going to be Gizzy's 5th as she tripped up Melby. And now Gabi has a couple of free throws here with 3:23 left.
And that's a big play for the Foresters, as now the primary defender on Melby is officially out of the game.
We'll see who they decide to go with. They're
They
going
go
to put in
extra size.
another forward with Abby Stoddard. Kind of surprised to not see Stout come in. She came in and played some good minutes against Melby the last time.
Yeah, Stout's been very good defensively on Melby, but I guess they're going to trust McKnight to guard Melby here.
Melby.
She's also been really good defensively so far.
Melby connects on the first. She's got one more coming. She did miss one of these free throws in a big scenario in regular time, but this time she knocks both in. If you're just tuning in, we are in double overtime. Still waiting for the men's game to tip up next. At this point, probably won't start till 3:45-ish, if not a little later than that. That is Eastern time. We do have some friends watching Central time as well. You guys can do the math. Gregory swings it over right side. Crawford waiting for that shot clock to get down. They now put Nelson on her. McKnight is open from the corner. Finally misses one of those big shots.
And this is the chance for the Foresters to tie it up or take the lead again, and they have to take advantage of it.
Raby being guarded by Stoddard. Loose pass caught and kept in by Kellum. Nelson. Long pass back to Kellum. Someone's got to create. Only 8 on the shot clock. Yoakum. She'll take it off the dribble. Floats one up way too quick.
Oh, that should have been a foul. She got. Wow.
Nelson was knocked down behind the play. Now she's coming back into the play and nearly takes it away, but misses. Fordyce. Gregory. Physical game. Nelson did not foul here. Do not reach. Fall away shot. Gregory. Too strong. Loose ball again. McKnight.
Oh, she missed it.
Misses it at the rim, and then a whistle comes as Nelson is called for the personal.
Now it'll be 2 free throws, but man, that is a tough call to not go the Foresters' way, as Nelson, trying to get the rebound, got wrapped around the neck and pulled down, but no foul call. And Crawford, who's just been so dominant from the free throw line and inside, a chance to put them back up by 2 possessions.
I think the refs maybe want to go back to the last defensive or the offensive possession for HU. And I think they want to look and see what happened on the back side of that play with Annika Nelson.
Because I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but I saw the wraparound arm on her upper torso neck area that sent her down to the ground, which I mean, maybe that's just me, but that's always a foul in any league. If you put your hand over the upper torso neck area, and they're gonna come look at it.
So they're gonna come and take a look at that last offensive possession for HU to see what happened on the replay. It's gonna be tough to see, but I think this is when HU had the basketball. So they'll get that ready for the officials, and they're probably gonna wanna see this baseline angle. I see them in the back. They're gonna wanna see the last play that Huntington had the ball, not when St. Francis had it, because they want to see if Nelson got hit. So here it is.
Yeah.
And we'll show you that on the broadcast here in a moment. But they're going to see if maybe an elbow was thrown at Nelson on the play.
They're going to have to do the wide angle because that camera's following the ball here. Okay, because Yoakum was forced to take a bad shot. Yeah, there it is.
It's still not the right play, though. They're wanting to see when HU had the ball, so it's going to take a while to sort out here. For Huntington, though, they're still in this game. However, they just fouled someone down on the other end.
So, yeah, it'll still be 2 free throws for Crawford. You see right there, there was the foul right there, but previous play with the Foresters.
So that
right here.
Yeah, you guys can't see it on your screen, but we'll show you here in a moment. Huntington's waiting to draw up a play.
See it right here. She's going in, and she just gets taken out by Crawford.
I don't think they can change the play, though. I think it would have needed to be called a foul on the court.
Yeah.
You can see it right here on our program now that they're taking a look at it. What they're questioning is if 24 in pink got maybe elbowed on the offensive rebound attempt. Yoakum took a wild shot, and the angle here is not going to allow us to see that.
They need the angle from the opposite side of the court. That's the one that shows the arm go around the neck of Nelson and take her down.
They do want the third official, I should say, to come and look at it. But once again, to me, not real sure there was enough there to really change this one to a flagrant or anything like that.
Well, and the problem for the Foresters is I don't think they can go back and change the call because it didn't happen. They didn't call a foul in the first place, so it's not like they're reviewing a call they already made. They're just looking to see what actually happened. You see right there. She definitely got taken out a little bit, maybe a little bit of a clothesline as she was trying to go for the rebound. which if you're boxing out, you're not allowed to go all the way up here for the box outs. You have to stay with your body and maybe a little bit lower. But her arm was all the way up there, so that should have been a foul. I just don't think it was called.
I don't think so either. And if it isn't changed, Huntington is going to be potentially down by 2 possessions because it's going to be free throws for Crawford. And I think Darby Maggard is getting the news now that there wasn't a flagrant foul there, I should say. 2 minutes left, though. Even if Crawford knocks in both of these, you're still in the game if you're Huntington.
Yeah, I mean, you still got around 2 minutes to play. That's at least 3 possessions for you. So, I mean, HU is not out of this game yet.
Here's the look on program for you guys. Checking to see if there was maybe an elbow there by Crawford. I don't think it was high enough for a flagrant. Typically, the definition would be to the face and neck area. It might have been slightly lower than that.
Yeah.
So
it looked like it hit her collarbone area.
Crawford misses the first. The second is perfect, and it's still just a 3-point game.
See if Yoka McComb can come up with another timely 3 here.
Great job by our replay crew in the back, our producers, directors, everyone working in the studio as Melby missed an easy one right at the rim.
And that, I mean, that was defensive pressure from Gregory there. She prevented her from getting the easiest look possible, and is just enough to force her to miss it.
77-74. Gregory, wait until that clock gets to about 12. Start the offense. 9 on the shot clock.
You feel like if they put a shot in here, it could almost be the dagger.
McKnight looking for another one. Missed that step back 3. Huntington still alive. And Coach Darby Maggard now wants a timeout. This might go down as the longest game in college basketball history by the time we're all done. Just a 30-second timeout as Darby Maggard is going to speak with her team. These players are just gassed out here right now.
And you can tell, I mean, right there, not as much movement as they wanted. Forced McKnight to take a relatively tough shot with a step back 3 over her defender. I mean, she's forced to take that because of the shot clock, but that's great defensive pressure from the Foresters, and they need to score here. If they don't score here, it's possibly game over, because you have a player like Crawford on the St. Francis side who has 30 points. She's dominated inside almost the entire game. You feel like if you don't score here, at least a 2, you're going to end up being down by 2 possessions if you don't score.
77-74, 1:11 left in the game, we think. We've said that a few times. Huntington,
maybe another 5 minutes, we'll see.
Yeah, Huntington looked dead early in this second half, down 15. Come all the way back. They've led 1 time the entire game, maybe twice now, actually. Kellum dribbles in against McKnight, had some space, goes into Raby. Stoddard off the bench. Liv steps through, and a tough shot forced up by Raby.
And right there, they have to get the stop and hit a 3. They don't have a choice anymore as you miss that shot. The Cougars score here, you almost feel like it's game over.
Gregory, the freshman. Right side, McKnight. Stoddard looking big to big inside, couldn't get it there. Nearly tipped away by Melby. Gregory, good defense, 5 on the shot clock. Gregory drives, floats it up. Kellum clears, Yoakum clears. And Darby Maggard with the timeout to advance the basketball. That's the same timeout she didn't get in regulation.
Yeah, exactly.
She made sure she got it this time.
And now the Foresters, and you wonder, do they go to the inside shot? And Crawford, who's already missed 1 of 2 in their most recent, do you think they try to go play the foul game and see if they miss the one, get an easy 2 inside, foul, hope they miss one and get another 2, or they just go for the tie here with the 3? I'm thinking they go for the tie here with so many good shooters.
I think if you can absolutely get a quick layup, a quick 2, you take it. Because you want the quick points, and then you got to play the foul game a little bit or hope for a steal.
And the problem is they have players like McKnight who are great free throw shooters. They likely will not miss here at the end. So it's you weigh your outcomes here. If you make the 3, tie game, they still have a chance to win. You make the 2, and you have to pray that they miss. Otherwise, you're just going to be right back in the same position and have to make another 3.
I also think it's a big question whether St. Francis fouls. Do they not want to allow Huntington to even tie this game? I would also think that that is not the situation here. Maybe if there were 9 seconds left, you foul. So they have to make 2 free throws, and then you play that game. But we will see. We'll see what the strategy is for both sides.
Well, and with 3 of their 3 best players all have 3 fouls. I mean, 1 more foul and then an accidental offensive foul, and they're out of the game.
Melby has it. Yoakum to Kellum. They're looking for Yoakum to tie it from the top of the key.
Oh, my goodness. Kendall Yoakum does it again. What clutch shot does she not hit? My goodness.
Perfectly executed, and Yoakum continues to knock in triples. She is having her best game of the year, 21 on the day.
Leading the Foresters in scoring, which Raby's been doing pretty much the entire game, but Yoakum takes that honors with that 3, and the biggest 3 of the game for her, and she's had a lot of big 3s this entire game so far.
Huntington has just continued to knock down the 3 ball. They went on a little lull, but they're up to 9 makes. Both teams have 12 turnovers. These 2 teams, they just cannot be separated as we continue to go back and forth.
And we'll see. I mean, what do you think? I think they're going to Crawford here for an inside look.
She's got 30 plus tonight.
You have to give it to your player that has the hottest hand, and that's Crawford. Even though Raby has gotten a lot of stops on her one-on-one, but with giving it to Crawford, we've seen Yoakum have to come over and double team. That's given wide open layups for her other players. So, I mean, there's a lot of different plays you can go. You can go to McKnight, who's been a really good 3-point shooter this game, especially in the clutch. I mean, there's a lot of ways this game to go. You can give it to Gregory, who one of the best shooters in the Crossroads League. So St. Francis with a lot of options here and how they want to try and close this game out.
What some teams also like to do, Ryan, is give themselves a chance for an offensive rebound in a bucket. I think that's more of the case when you're down 1. I think you want to hold for the last shot, because if you go over the back, Huntington wins it with free throws.
Exactly.
This crowd trying to will Huntington to a stop on the defensive end. McKnight will be the one to trigger it right in front of us. 77-77 in double OT. Both teams in the bonus.
Into Crawford.
And now Gregory, freshman with 10 on the clock. Against the senior Melby. Nelson steps in to defend. Blocked away. Raby
the
pulls
rebound.
it. Huntington trying to call a timeout.
Timeout, got it.
And they're going to have to come look at the clock and see how much time's left now.
I think she got it with about a second remaining, so there's a chance to get a last desperate heave up, or we may have a triple overtime game.
So they'll have to see when Darby Maggard called the timeout and when possession was established by HU.
Which you may need from the really wide cam to see Darby Maggard and when she actually got it.
It's probably going to be the wide cam or the baseline cam that gives them a pretty good look, because Darby started calling timeout. You can also see when we show you the replay, the official on the far side came running in and pointing, so it's when he notices the timeout called. Even if it's a second left, Huntington advances the ball. They have a chance to launch up a long one to win.
Especially with the way that Kendall Yoakum has been shooting. You get it to her, have her put up a 3, and if that goes in, it's game over. So a huge play here. My guess is around 1.5 seconds remaining. That's when it looked like they got the timeout off. So we will see.
Tell you what, we're trying a new replay system today, and it's gotten plenty of work here in this first game.
Yes.
Who knows how much more work it'll get. We are probably a little around a second away from triple overtime between these 2 teams. For Huntington, they're trying to fight and claw their way into maybe a 6-5 spot in the league, maybe even a 4 spot eventually. But back and forth we go. There's just no separation. Each time one team looks like they might win the game, the other makes a play to keep it going, and that's been the case again.
Yeah, and I mean, right there, we saw the play go, they went inside, tried to get the open look, and they missed it. And it actually looked like Cassidy Crawford had the rebound, but Raby came from behind and just ripped it away from her. So the Foresters just have made the timely plays that have mattered this entire game, especially with players like Yoakum and Raby making these timely buckets. And we'll see if they can do it one more time or if they're going to have to play another 5 minutes.
On the other end as well, St. Francis cannot foul here defensively. If they do, it's free throws, probably with less than half a second left at this point. It's going to be really hard for the officials to sort out how much time, because it's tough to see the angle. Yep, underneath the basket.
The angles make it really hard to see the shot clock. When it looked like, when I saw him point the timeout, the clock was around 1.7. So I'm guessing they're going to have around 1.5 seconds remaining.
Okay, we'll wait and see how much time they put on the clock.
They said 2.3. So they
that
have
is
2
gonna
seconds.
Be a lot of time.
Wow. 2.3 seconds left on the clock. Foresters, a chance to win the game.
2.3 seconds left. That is an eternity. I cannot believe they just put that much time on the clock.
They added an extra 2 seconds to the clock. We'll see what they do here.
You have time to take a dribble or two and shoot this ball now. See who it goes to. Melby trying to come and get it. Gabi working off a few screens. Has it in the corner. Fires in! Hits for the win!
Oh my goodness! Gabi Melby! She did it! Knocks off the number 14 seed in the conference.
Gabi Melby, quiet in the second half, may have just put Huntington over the top, but they're going to have to take one more look.
Unbelievable, and that is why you put the ball in your best player's hands. Just an unbelievable shot from Gabi Melby. I mean, that's contested over 2 St. Francis players, fade away from the corner. That is about as tough of a shot as you can take.
We'll wait and see. There could be a slight difference in the clock here. They're going to have to get an angle where they can see this, because as soon as that ball drops through the net, the time stops.
I think from the wide. Yeah, there's time on the clock when she puts that up.
But it only matters when it goes through the hoop. So if there's any time when the ball comes through the net, I don't even think it's that. I think it's 0.1. And they are going to say that's the ball game, and Gabi Melby, today's hero, over top of the number 14 St. Francis Cougars.
That, I mean, you can't write up a better all-around entertaining basketball game than what just happened in this game. I mean, this team was down 15, came all the way back, forced double overtime, and its best player, its leader, hit one of the clutchest shots we've ever seen here in Platt Arena.
We saw Zach Goodline do it over and over again as a senior last year, but this year it's the senior point guard for the Huntington Foresters. They're showing it now on the broadcast. Three-pointer falling away.
Crawford.
In just enough time to run that clock out all the way to the end. Huntington gets a massive win at home. They have been so close in Darby Maggard's time. To have a ranked win like this, they just finally got it.
I mean, as the Foresters, this is about as good of a win as you can get. This is the highest of qualities of win against one of the best teams in your league and in the entire Crossroads League, and you win on a game winner with your best player. You can't write up a better script than that.
We'll wait and see if Darby Maggard comes and joins us. It looks like she's making her way over, and Coach Darby Maggard will put on the headset and join us following what I feel like I can label as probably the most exciting win of your coaching career.
Oh my goodness, what a crazy game, right? Like a crazy amount of overtimes. Both teams, not just my girls, both teams fought like crazy and battled. And I'm really proud of our execution late game and just like our commitment to staying together.
There are so many players we could talk about. I don't want to even think about trying to pick one to spot out. Obviously, Melby hits the shot. Kendall Yoakum, though, she came up with some massive three-pointers late in that game to keep you in it.
Oh, yeah.
And she was just spectacular today, and she's been a little quiet recently.
Right. I think Kendall hit some huge shots for us, obviously, today. Gabi's shot at the end of the game, like, that's what she works for. I mean, we talked about it at halftime. That's the leader of our team, and she just picks and chooses her spots to just be amazing. And today, I thought she was a phenomenal leader for our team. Liv came up with some huge baskets late underneath. Like, she really held down the paint for us. And then, yeah, honestly, this was it was an all-around team effort. Annika was flying in, helping us on the defensive side, and then, yeah, it was amazing. Bailey hit some big shots today too.
I'll tell you what, it feels like you have been so close to one of these wins against IWU the last 2 years. Heartbreaking losses. And for a while, I was thinking about this post-game interview. Is Darby really going to want to come over here if you lose a double overtime game? Today, it's the other side. It's got to feel good, and it's probably the best win of your career so far.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It was a fun one, and honestly, like, that's what it takes. You know, like, it takes time, and you have to learn how to win and learn how like, honestly tough the Crossroads League is, and we play in an incredible league. So our kids are learning that, and I'm really proud of the way that they competed today.
Well, congrats, Coach. That's a really cool win, and we're happy for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Coach Darby Maggard joining us in the post-game interview. A fun one. Man, we've had some buzzer beaters here in Platte Arena year in and year out. Today, it's Gabi Melby. What a game, and what a production by our crew as well.
Well, and one of the biggest plays of our production, the replays. The replays actually saved a lot of, I mean, right there, Gabi Melby wouldn't have been able to get that shot off if it wasn't for the replay showing them the time left on the clock. I mean, that was just as good of a game as you'll ever watch, men's or women's side, and that was just so much fun.
So we'll go ahead and take a break. Hopefully the men's game is as exciting on FDN Sports. Huntington Foresters buzzer beating winner today. We'll see you next time.
Do it big, yeah, I do it big, yeah, let's go. I'm on the road, watch me roll, money so big it can fall, feeling myself strike a pose, I'm blowing money fast, feel like a superstar, riding a fancy car, skirt, stunt hard, make it look easy, tell the Jack boys they see me, unless it's on TV, #1 still undefeated, pulling up in that new V. You wish you knew me, wait, you wish you could be me like always in VIP, always in luxury, this life was made for me, do it big,
One's back, that's out of here! Catch and fire, it's on the, he made it!